Welcome, misfits, to the DC as Fuck Show, the drinking show with a podcast problem. On this show, we will offer you an insider's guide into what makes DC tick, the real behind-the-scenes shit that happens beyond the curtain, the raw, the uncut version of life in our great city of DC. Told by us before someone else tells it for us. We make no excuses for any of our actions once the show begins. On this week's show, we will discuss the midterms and Florida, sessions, the president, and our wonderful and ever so talented guest, Mr. Mike Schleibaum from Darkest Hour. And here's your host, Marcus Donovan.
Marcus Bradley Donovan, the Smokey White Devil. Welcome to this week's show, DC as Fuck. We have a great guest, Mike Schleibaum from the Darkest Hours here with us. We're live from the Mind Space.
Did you say the?
The.
There's no the.
He does. There's no the, but
no
it's
the.
part of the sentence. It's fine.
I do the on
It
everything.
happens, but I do know. I knew Boo's a purist.
The walk the plank.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I did.
But
No,
the
I did
walk
that.
the plank. It doesn't like.
No.
I get it.
No.
No.
I'm just being a dick. Carry on. I'm sorry.
So let's start the show with this. Valerie has a penalty shot already.
I do.
For what?
So we play drinking penalties.
Yeah.
throughout the
What
game.
was her penalty for?
Her media played while we were on.
If your phone makes any noise,
Oh, that's brutal.
You
Yeah.
gotta drink.
You should definitely drink.
Yeah, she should know better by now.
But you did say the Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
oh,
maybe.
that
So you
I
should
think
probably
that'd be-
drink, too.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I even have the Wikipedia.
You know what? Hey,
The
you know what?
Wikipedia.
though?
The Wikipedia.
I'll drink
That
with
you
you
got
guys
from
just because.
the
The
Wikipedia.
internet.
I have the Valerie Torres.
Yeah.
All right, so today,
Cheers.
let's do the shot and then we'll go into the show. So, my co-host today is Damon Boo Dixon.
Ooh, you can find me on the Instagram, the Facebook, and the Twitter at Crushing Boo.
Miss Valerie Torres.
Hold, please.
Another penalty shot.
She had to take her headphones off to do the shot.
You did. No. I am also found on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the Book of Faces
The Book of Faces.
as Valerie Torres.
Oh, my God.
But no, wait, my other handles are at VMTDC.
And our special guest is...
Mike from the band Darkest Hour. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under the various Darkest Hour handles, which are pretty easy to find. I am also getting a little more personal with people on the Riff Dojo, which is my Instagram. And I'm pretty public on my personal Facebook page, but they got a limit on that thing over there, so...
Yes.
I'm all over the internet, unfortunately, but it is what you have to do in 2018 to connect with people. So here I am, and that's where you can find me. Thanks for having me,
Thank
by
you
the
for
way.
coming on.
Glad to
I'm
have you.
stoked to be here.
Yeah, we
So
are too.
excited to have you.
Super
Awesome.
happy. I mean, I'm really happy because when I started doing research, I actually pulled up your Wikipedia page, and I'm like, oh, Wikipedia. This is
On
amazing.
the Wikipedia.
On the Wikipedia. So we're going to talk about the Wikipedia and your picture that is on Wikipedia and more things of the likes when we get to your section. But right now, we need safe words. And we're going to start with Boo. Your safe word will be...
Smokey.
Miss Torres, your safe word would be...
Jerome.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Are you two... Are you guys eating... You guys good over there?
Well, I just noticed that when I was coming into the building on my security badge. They did.
Is this your middle name?
Why did they do
I mean,
that
I'm
to
not ashamed of it.
That's your middle name?
Yeah.
From now on, you
I'm
are
not-
now... Jerome.
I'm not ashamed of it.
You shouldn't be ashamed. I mean, it's your name.
But I just didn't even notice it.
I never thought about. I thought your
I
middle
could have
name.
been like walking around out there with all those people milling around. They'd have been like, "Hey, Jerome, what's up?"
Like I thought your middle name was Boo, so it didn't matter. All these years, you know. Michael, what's your safe word, sir?
I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I'm just gonna say
Well,
Slayer.
That's good. That's
Actually,
perfect.
I don't really know what it is,
So-
but
so
if
we
I
have-
have to guess one word, I'm just gonna guess Slayer.
So
it's
we-
like a
Definitely the
multiple
most
choice.
metal safe word we've had on the
No
show.
kidding.
So Slayer.
So we do safe words because usually Boo or I, mostly me, will get out of hand, and we need to comment.
Not
similar-
possible. I don't think there's anything that Boo can do that I would be shocked by.
What's because
But I don't know you that well, so okay. Slayer.
Yeah, you might need that one. Mine is going to be Devil.
Ooh.
For the White Devil. Because I'm the Smoky White Devil.
Because tell everybody why you got... for those of you who didn't see my pre-show video, Marcus got banned from Facebook.
Once again,
This
is a monthly thing. I feel like it's... but this one was the weirdest one.
You're good every 6 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks.
So once a month, essentially. Once and a half.
Yeah.
So this time, our other host, Jamie Roderick, posted this video. It's called The Smoky White Devil. And this is a white guy. It's like a black and white video. I don't know if it's old or if it's like new and they just made it look retro, which I think it is. And it's for a rehab fucking place. And he's talking in an Alabama accent, and he's talking about he doesn't smoke the Smoky White Devil anymore.
It looks old.
It does look old, but it's just fucking hilarious. So he goes in and he's talking, and I don't smoke the Smoky White Devil anymore. And it goes in it's like a 4-minute video, and I guess
I feel like it's much longer than that.
It's like
it goes on forever.
Because he's talking like he's from Alabama. That's why. If you've ever lived in the South, you know those conversations are long and drawn.
Yeah,
they're like
invested.
It's like, can you just get to the point? What the fuck? So anyway, at the end of the video, towards the end of it, he's just basically saying, I don't smoke the White Devil at church unless I don't like the ham. I don't smoke while I'm driving unless I'm at a red light. So he still fucking smokes. So under my post, I was just like, Smoky White Devil. And then I get a message from Facebook. I get a message from Facebook 25 minutes later. You are against our hate speech. I'm like, what? I thought somebody posted it, but apparently you can't say the word white and anything, or white people, or white devil.
White and devil at the same time.
You can show videos of burning puppies alive or killing black people. That's totally fine.
But you can't say the word white and be against white people at all. So I found that hilarious, and I was actually. Facebook gave me the chance to like protest this, and I was like, review this. I was like, it's the name of the fucking video. Go to YouTube, and put Smoky White Devil in, and this video pops up because that's the name of the fucking video. And I'm like, first of all, I'm white, so I'm calling myself a Smoky White Devil. Second of all, the video is called Smoky White Devil, and 3, it's a funny fucking video. So I suggest anybody who has YouTube, we all have YouTube, go see Smoky White Devil.
Don't post it on your Facebook.
Yeah, don't.
Don't post on your Facebook.
Well, no, Jamie's posted it.
Jamie
posted it, and he wasn't fucking mad. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
So Jamie posted it, and Marcus commented on it. He just wrote Smoking White Devil.
So you didn't even post the video? You just commented on it?
I just commented Smoky White Devil.
Damn, Facebook, you sketchy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Damn. There's some smoky old white man.
The story would have been
like, fuck you.
Somebody was like... That's just not funny.
You went too far.
Because somebody's smoking some shit over at Facebook.
They have to be. Like, that's just...
Did you ever hear back from them?
No.
Oh, shit. So speaking of, and I know that we're kind of going off the rails of the show, but after the election night thing, that foot chase, we rolled out of the building on Tuesday night around like 9 o'clock. And right out front, this foot chase breaks out, and they go running down K Street to 14th, and they tackle the cop. The cops tackle this dude. He's like, yo, call,
No.
I broke my radio. Somebody call and tell them I need, call the police, tell them I need help. So, like, all these other cops, like, converge on the area. I got blocked in for a minute. So I'm, like, waiting to get in my car, and finally it clears out. And I get in my car, and I see from where the dude was sitting that the cops took in this big-ass pile of fucking crack rocks.
Oh, shit.
The dude was sitting on the steps of, like, whatever the church or synagogue.
No.
Mr. Idiot gonna pick up the dude's
Yeah,
hat
why would he?
contaminate evidence, you fucking
So
stink.
what happened? We literally had just
Who's
walked
too
out.
smart for that?
So, like, yeah, but,
And,
the dude was sitting on the stoop counting his rocks, and the cop just drove by and was like, yo, and the dude took off running.
No. I mean, the guy was on the police officer was on foot.
Was
because
he?
He was chasing, like, they came flying down the stairs as we were, that's why we saw them. So, and then that's when Dum Dum went to go pick up the hat that, like,
Yeah, the dude that was being chased, his hat goes flying off, and Genius over here decides to pick it up, and I'm like, dude, a crime is literally in progress, and you want to fucking contaminate. Don't you watch Law and Order, motherfucker?
No.
Like, yes, you do. You've seen an episode.
I've seen an episode of 5,
So then,
but I like contaminating shit.
Because my car was right at the corner, right? So then when they ran around the corner, put down the window, and he had him down.
Yeah, well,
And,
where
like-
that dude was, he had a bunch of shit on the steps of like I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a church or a synagogue or whatever, like right outside next door.
That's amazing.
But next to all of his shit
Yeah.
from my car, from like 30 feet away, I was like, damn,
Well, that's what I heard.
That's a lot of crack.
Because he had him
that's
down.
a lot of crack.
That's a lot of
bro.
Smoky White Devil.
That's
So,
a lot of Smoky White.
He had him
Devil.
down on the pavement, and the other cop was coming. He goes, "Go over there." He had a pile of crack on the.
I mean, in the clinical, if you put pile of crack in the dictionary and took a picture of this, it was fucking insane.
It was a pile of crap.
It was
That's why
like,
when you said
I mean, it
All
wasn't
right.
just a little handful.
it was a lot.
Ooh, I think they let me post
It was a fistful of crack.
But like for real, when is it a crime to have some crack? You know what I'm saying?
I
Your
like-
man's just sitting there counting his crack
Always.
rocks. Like why?
I
What
mean,
the
that's- it
fuck,
was
man. You
Intent.
know?
I mean, it was probably enough
It's
to
payday.
be like intent to distribute.
In the words of Tyrone Bigham,
I don't know. Have
it
you
was
ever
going to last him hours. I know.
I'm gonna drink on that one. I deserve
Yeah.
that. So it looks like I just put Smoky White Devil on the video, and it looks like it went through. Did it go through? Everybody see it
No.
Damn
On
it.
One Love Massive.
on the
On the
live feed?
Nope.
Damn it!
Yeah,
Still
he's still
banned.
banned.
Still banned.
Wonder what would happen if I do it.
Do
Let's-
it.
Go ahead.
Do you think I get banned mid-show?
Probably. No, 20 minutes. Oh yeah, Miss Show. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Boo is no longer watching. You have violated the terms.
The Facebook hate speech. I mean, does it really matter that I'm white that I said it? I mean, is it a racist hate thing of being white and I said that?
So did anybody that liked your shit get banned? Well,
It just means that one of your white friends is a bitch ass. That's all.
I mean, was it my friends or was it from Facebook though? I feel like it was a Facebook.
I think it was probably a Facebook thing.
I think one of your white crackhead friends with a guilty conscience.
I mean, last time I
banned
got
you
banned,
out.
I called someone a couple of nasty words because she was
Yeah.
flying the Confederate flag and saying she was pissed because Delaware banned it from the state fair.
And you used some choice words for her.
And yeah, I did. Well, she deserved them. I mean, I don't like racists. So anyway, let's go into this election thing that just happened. It's kind of important. The results were in, and I didn't really get too much into this because I really don't want to go too far into the election because everybody in the world's talking about it.
And not all of the results, right?
Well, that's true. That's part of what I want to talk about. So there's one of the races in Arizona is pretty close to being flipped, and the Democrats actually winning. And it wasn't the blue wave that we all thought it was going to be. It was the blue ripple. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this big blast, overwhelming blast of like wave because of the hate speech of the caravan and all that shit. It's like anytime Republicans do win the House, it's usually, or any of the like major things, they always use hate and they always use fear. That's why we go to these wars that we shouldn't be in. It's because they scare the shit out of white people in middle America. And they did the same thing with these elections. Like, excuse me, you see things that should have turned, it didn't turn. You saw the Texas election that should have been turned. Cruz should not have won. Bono should have won.
That was definitely it. Who'd you say, Bono?
Bono. No, Beto should have won that one. Like, I don't know. Like, I loved his speech. Did anybody see his speech
Yes.
where he was like, "I'm fucking proud of all of you"?
Oh yeah, it was brutal to watch.
You
But I
didn't
mean,
li- you
I
didn't
think
like
there
it?
was no. I mean, it was hard to watch because I mean, later when he lost.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. I see what you're saying.
And
But
and
he said it afterwards. I think it was
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
consent.
No,
He
but
conceded, yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
saying it was hard to watch. What I think you're saying. Well, you fucking. said
what
it.
I'm saying is that it was just hard to watch the whole thing because
Ah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
hoping he was gonna win.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
Texas was like, God. But there's a lot of really positive things happened.
lot.
You know, a lot of women were elected. You had your first,
Minorities?
yeah, and you had your first Muslim member of the House,
Openly
and
gay
you-
member.
Yep,
Or openly gay.
and-
Openly
people.
gay governor.
Governor.
the youngest female elected, right, to
Yeah.
the House of
the House,
Representatives.
yep.
So I mean, there's a lot
The one who
of good.
can't afford to pay rent in D.C.
Well, it's
I have mixed feelings
You know,
on
charge it to the game. Charge
know
it to the
what?
game.
Yeah,
Okay,
You know what I
could you
mean?
not get paid for 3 months and
You know?
afford
Yeah,
to live here?
Hey, whatever. Booze made it work for this long.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
I've,
saying?
I've had to pull a few strings.
Exactly.
I don't feel bad because she's getting ready to make six figures, so fuck her. like,
Also,
The
let's-
struggle's
I mean,
gonna make her know what we're feeling.
She'll
Yeah.
build, yeah, she'll
I
be
mean,
fine.
let's be real. Like, she comes from a very well-to-do family. I mean,
Okay. Well,
I mean,
I mean,
These people
She
shouldn't
does.
make that much anyway.
But like,
I don't think. I mean, I would love to see them not make as much money as they're making because they fucking suck and they keep giving themselves raises constantly. So what you're saying, something good did come out of the Texas thing, and I like the
not
thing.
just Texas. I think
Not
out of
yeah,
all
everywhere,
of the elections.
yeah.
Well, true, but
The House also flipped, which is going to change the power structure, which
definitely
made this off the rails press release or press conference thing happen. I guarantee
That shit was
So,
a
I would say that like
I think that's good. We shook it up. It got shaken up where it could.
it was a 60-40 election. Like, you know,
I mean,
it
it
wasn't.
could have been worse.
should've
It could have been
It
worse.
should've been
It
75.
could have been a whole lot
Yeah.
better, but it could have been a whole lot
No, and
worse.
I
In the
agree with
age
that.
of Trump,
And you know,
a could have been worse is so bad.
it's so bad.
You just drink to the fact it isn't could have been worse.
Yeah. So you
so
know,
you have the or the Democrats taking back the House,
Which is good.
That is good.
That's great.
and there is the possibility that maybe the Democrats get another couple seats in the Senate too.
Yes.
Which that would help. But out of this, I think seeing the way the people in Texas got behind Beto, I could see that being a run for 2020. I could see that going farther to the presidential election, or at least a vice president role, or at least in the talk.
I don't know, man.
At least a talk. I ring it, a hat in the ring.
It takes such a personality to be the president now. You have to be the ultimate.
Yeah, but I think
game
he has
show
that.
in chief.
Yeah,
I
you have
think
to be.
he's-
You
I
have.
think he's
He
pretty
seems too
charismatic, though.
too good.
He's charismatic, but I think he might be too young.
I agree with that.
I think he needs to
So
take another
maybe-
run at a Senate seat.
Also, why do we need another white guy? Can't we get somebody different?
Well, he's not
in?
white.
He's not white.
Oh,
He's ha-
okay,
he's-
yeah. I
I mean,
guess
his
not.
first name is Beto.
Beto, yeah. I guess he's not white. So
I mean, listen, if anything's better than Trump right now, I don't give a shit.
Well,
I'd
yeah.
vote for you or me.
well, I don't want the job. So.
No, I fucking wouldn't want that
Boo
job.
might want the job.
Boo wants Nightmare.
No, I want to be the man behind the man.
Nobody wants to be Nightmare.
I actually want to be Nightmare.
You would not want to be
I
Nightmare.
still want to be Nightmare.
They would not want you Nightmare.
They definitely don't want me Nightmare. 'Cause
No, but what I'm saying is the Nightmare or the Night Council or whatever director, really is just going to be like support staff for the mayor.
yeah. No, I get it.
You
But it's
know?
also an opening to something else. And, I don't know. I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun to be like waving a badge. Like, I'm the Nightmare, motherfucker. So let's talk.
I'm the night man.
So let's talk about Florida never getting shit right.
America's
But they're
Wang
not-
strikes
we're
again.
still waiting.
No,
Gil,
I don't even mean that.
you know,
I just mean
Gillum,
it goes
like-
back to the hanging Chad shit.
the race. Well,
Yes.
here's the thing: is the race between Gillum and DeSantis is still, they're still counting.
Gillum shows so much fucking
There's going to be a
class out
recount.
But did you see what he said? He was like, that concession speech, I take it back.
Yeah,
He's
take
like,
it
never
back. He
mind.
shouldn't have conceded in the first place.
But
Like,
he-
here's the thing: we need to get. I would love it if, as a society, we would get away from a few things when it comes to the elections. Get away from this projecting bullshit.
Yes.
Stop fucking forecasting.
We project.
Stop projecting. Stop trying to tell me the fucking weather because you don't fucking know what the weather's
Shit,
gonna
they
fucking
really
do.
don't know the weather for
You
shit.
don't know the trends. I mean, the polls and how everyone was all like the polls in 2016. That shit should have taught you a fucking lesson that fire burns, and you can't trust the polls. So all of this projecting shit, like they should just really keep their mouths shut until all the votes are counted. Because all you do is get people all revved up and hot and bothered, and you have who's this fucking idiot that's running around Florida yelling at people, trying to like talking. He keeps on saying shit like "monkey up the fucking elections." I want to punch this dude in his
Yeah,
fucking
you have
face.
you have a racist.
No. He's not even. What the fuck is this asshole's name?
Who is
Oh, fuck! Who was that guy? I know you're talking about.
He was in the woman who's
He-
in charge of tallying the votes. This black woman. He's like in her fucking face while she's in a conversation with Rick Scott's lawyers. Look, she's handling her business. She is engaged directly with his lawyers, and this dude is like, "What do you mean we can't go in the buildings? What is the rah?" This like angry white
I know
dude
who
just
you're
like
talking about.
screaming in her fucking face, and I'm just like, why are you so triggered, man?
Did you see Rubio's post? He was basically like, "I can't believe they're making us count all the votes. They're making us try to steal." I'm like,
they're making us count all the
I was
votes.
like, you actually put that in a Twitter post. Like, you're
making
dumb.
This is how
I
dumb
can't
they are.
believe
They-
democracy is working.
And this is like with Florida, like it's always. I mean, every election you can expect Florida to fuck something up. I think they should just like. I almost want to get a beer and
We should
popcorn.
saw it off and float it down to Cuba like Bugs Bunny did.
Did he really do that? Mm-hmm. That'd be. How you do that?
You just fucking the big ass saw, bro.
I mean, they have good beaches.
Probably from
though.
Acme.
They do.
And Daytona Beach is killer. Like,
No, you know what I mean.
racetrack.
Sarasota.
And people
latest
talk shit about Tampa, but I
Sandy is
fucking love Tampa.
out of beach.
Tampa's redneck fun.
People want to talk shit about
I,
Tampa.
lo-
but
I,
love
I
Tampa.
like love Florida, so I'm just saying. I feel you.
I
Well,
love
I don't know why
Florida.
everybody has to be so crazy. It's cool
I have an
down
issue
there.
with the people.
Well,
I mean, I have
Florida is
some of my
amazing.
best friends live in Florida, so I kind of want to talk shit about them a lot, but I feel
Florida
bad
is
when I
such
do.
a like mix though.
My brother lives there.
You have such a crazy mix of people in Florida. You know what I mean? From the Panhandle all the way down to like Miami. You can't really like lump them all into one
So I'm assuming you played in
category.
Florida.
That's
a lot.
why it's split.
man, we used to actually do 7-day long tours of Florida. Like a lot of bands wouldn't go to Florida because
shit.
it's hard to get out of there. So once you get to Atlanta, well, I'm saying once you get to Atlanta, where do you go? You can either go down the 10 and go more towards Louisiana,
Yeah, New Orleans, yeah.
or you can dip down into Florida. But once you do, it's kind of a gas trap because
Could you go all the way down and all the way back?
yeah, if you're gonna go down to Orlando, then maybe you go down to Miami. Once you're in Miami, you have to backtrack all the way
So it's
to
just
maybe
really
go to
boring.
Gainesville. But so we used to play, but everywhere like Daytona, Gainesville, Tampa, Orlando, St. Petersburg. Down there in South Florida, we would do Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I mean,
You ever do Key West?
no,
I wouldn't
there's not
see that
enough
being-
population there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that being.
But we had some of the best times. Like met some of the best people there. I mean, my wife's family's from Southern Florida, or not from there, but lives there.
So, what was your favorite place to actually play in Florida?
Man, it's gonna be a rough answer, but man, we used to like back in the DIY days. We used to have a really good time in Daytona. They had like really cool punk scene. It was separated from the bigger cities, so when you went there, it was a big deal. But we also have had great shows in Fort Lauderdale. It was always worth going down there, and also Gainesville, Orlando, Tampa. I mean, they're all pretty
I don't
good.
see Orlando having that much of a scene for you. It really does.
Man, are you kidding me? Yeah, all the death metal that came out of that whole area. It's
Really?
like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did not. Was
Dude,
unaware of that.
Deicide, Malevolent
yeah.
Creation,
Yeah.
Obituary.
Is it because they're so fucking bored in Florida or in the middle?
They
It's
just
hot
like
down
heavy
there.
metal.
It's hot.
is that what-
They just like heavy metal.
It's hot.
Yeah.
They like all types of heavy metal. It's that you can't just like one type of heavy metal if you like heavy metal. You
Who
start
else
to
from
like
that?
all of it.
Forbidden.
I mean, if we're talking about, I mean, I don't know whether Cannibal Corpse is technically considered a Florida band, or
I think
if they're
they are.
still considered a Buffalo, New York band.
I
But I
think
mean,
they are.
there's an entire scene of badass death metal.
That's
from
good. I mean,
Florida.
that's pretty dope, though.
yeah.
I like everything about that.
All right.
Yeah, and there's a hub.
So we used to go down there all the time, but we also, now lately, we'll just dip in for one show. It's harder to get down there for the same reason we don't tour as much as we used to. But whenever I see something insane happen in Florida, I kind of just feel for people there because we've had such great time.
So a lot of good memories, a lot of good friends
Yeah.
have actually been made. That makes plenty of perfect sense. So let's talk about how unhinged and how fucking insane Trump's. Not that he wasn't already there, but like Boo was saying earlier, like the speech the next night, to fucking talk with the reporters, the interview when he was just sitting there, when he had that whole open session. It's like
It was insane.
like it was just, and it wasn't just like one or two. I've been watching videos on it. It was like 9, 10 different reporters that he either said, "Why are you asking me a racist question? That's a stupid question. You're an idiot. I can't believe CNN hired you. You're a bad person. You're rude." And then the next day he's talking about you need to respect the White House and you need to respect people who work here. Da da da. This is a man that, like, this is not something I really want to talk about, but it kept going and going. It's just like you're just proving on an everyday basis how insane and how like immoral you are actually. Like the shit, like that conversation and them doctoring the video.
I didn't even realize they did that.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I watched
I watched the original one,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I didn't know until I read this here that like there was a doctored one.
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Sarah,
how do they think that that's
Well, no,
not
here's
going to
what-
be
here-
found out?
When it was happening, it felt like it didn't feel
like, I was
like
watching.
didn't feel that. I mean, I know it sounds weird to say that bad, but the way that this whole thing has gone, where like press conferences used to be like C-SPAN.
Yeah.
They were so boring.
Yeah.
Well, why would we even be talking one? They were very formal. People were really guarded about their language, and it was straight I don't want to say it, but basically boring.
Yeah.
And then things got a little more sensational. But
got
ever
Trump
since,
eyes.
well, ever since this presidency, you never know what's going to happen. Now he's had a string of people excusers and chiefs in there, like just kind of explaining him away all the time, and they get beat up by the press. But now he's ready to go stand right in front, and be the guy beating everybody up, and it's kind of crazy.
Well, the video they shared was from InfoWars. Sarah Sanders retweeted something about how the reason this guy is getting kicked out is because he snatched it from this young lady. But no, it was an InfoWars video that spiced the video, so you don't see him. It looks like
he never lets go. Like
but it looks like he kind of pushes her off because there's
he does, he touches her arm and he pulls his hand.
I mean,
he
he
never
goes
even
like this.
It's like a half, like not
Yeah,
even.
You know what is wrong with pushing her off? Look, this guy he works for the free press. He's questioning the leader of the free world, and this guy's not giving him a straight answer. What the fuck is the problem with saying no? Don't grab them. If you're at a bar, don't touch the DJ table.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what
don't,
I'm saying.
don't fuck with the man with the mic.
Don't fuck with the DJ, and don't take the microphone out of the motherfucker's hand. It's not your job, intern.
But you said you watched it, right?
Yeah.
Trump, there's all these questions that he chastised all these people. He never answered their questions. All right, so even if
Because
he did,
that's what he does.
but if
He's a master of deflection.
Even if he did answer the question, he didn't even talk about the fucking question. He talked about China or an economy.
But the interesting thing is that I read an article that was I thought that was kind of really compelling, was that he could easily pick on. There's a lot of people there. He knows ahead of time.
Well, and the thing
it's
is,
teed up. He's like, okay, when I call up this guy, when I call on this person, I'm going to beat them the fuck up.
The Jim
Let's
Acosta thing
go.
wasn't even the only thing that happened during that press conference.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He went off on like
10 different people.
He went off on a bunch of people. Like
what a stupid question.
He called
that whole thing.
Yeah,
what a stupid question.
And that was and then he did that shit like the next day.
Yeah, he did that the next day. But then he also talked to the PBS reporter who was African American. He was like, "Why are you asking me such a racist question?" Because he was asking.
He accused her of being
And she's like, you seem like
that question
accused her of being racist.
You're racist. Like, you motherfucker, you said you were a nationalist. Now, you dumb motherfucker. You just fucking said you were a racist.
I mean,
because he doesn't know how to answer.
For your kids, this is a confusing time. For my kid,
our kids.
Growing up.
No. My kids are not confused at all. My kids hate Donald Trump.
I know, but
and I didn't have to teach them that
so
shit.
No shit.
All they have to do is watch and listen, and they just fucking know.
But Dad,
what's
he drunk?
confusing is that there are things about the U.S. that are actually positive.
Children.
And what's confusing is kids are taught to hate the face of that place. That it's almost like I don't want my kids to internalize my animosity towards police officers.
Right.
Okay? I would rather them. About my 7-year-old, I want her to go to a cop if some shit's going down. I mean, 80% of the time, it's 70% of the time. I don't know, but that's hard to take because I feel the way that I feel about police officers, and I feel the way I feel about the president. But it's kind of just sad that I guess I didn't really like any president when I was a kid.
My kids,
but the society at large wasn't rejecting him.
My daughter is too young. My daughter didn't know. My son is old enough to have remembered Obama and loved Obama.
Well,
so you know what I mean. He didn't hate. He didn't hate the president. You know what I mean. He's not looking at it like, oh, the president sucks. He's looking at it like Donald Trump sucks.
Because Obama didn't talk like a drunken idiot.
Like he just
interesting. He doesn't see it as the president. He sees it as Donald Trump.
Sees
like
it.
the brand is bigger than being a president.
And we have a thing on. I usually don't ever say his name on the show. I refer to him as Scrotus. Which stands for so-called ruler of the United States. But yeah, like my kids, the only time they're allowed to swear, my kids straight up be like, Donald Trump is a fucking traitor.
And when they're
they're
singing Wu-Tang,
and it's for the children.
It's for the children.
It's the one time they're allowed to say the F word. They're allowed to say that Donald Trump is a fucking traitor.
And so I think that there have been a lot of people who've been posting this quote from Theodore Roosevelt. Have you guys seen this? About patriotism.
Read it to us. Is this what Macron?
No.
This is what
Macron fucked him up.
Macron fucking got in his.
No, this is about
let's listen to this.
Because he and other Republicans and Trump supporters keep saying this is, he's the president. You should be respecting him. And, there's nobody should have been speaking to him that way and blah, blah, blah. But this is, that just goes back to this quote from Theodore Roosevelt. He said, patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president or any other public official, save exactly to the degree in which he himself stands by the country. It is patriotic to support him insofar as he efficiently serves the country. It is unpatriotic not to oppose him to the exact extent that by inefficiency or otherwise he fails in his duty to stand by the country. In either event, it is unpatriotic not to tell the truth, whether about the president or anyone else.
Amen to that.
So,
God bless America.
People need to be, like that.
And shame on the mainstream media for not putting this motherfucker's feet to the fire and calling him a liar when he fucking lies.
That's the problem.
I understand that you're worried about getting your fucking hard pass fucking taken away, yada, 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 but you just send in the next wave,
And that's the problem.
And then you send in the next wave, and you send in the next wave. And real quick, somebody tweeted some shit that I thought it's not going to happen, but I think it'd be amazing. Is if at one of these press corps events, if every news outlet just sent their black female reporters.
That would be great.
Just 30 black female reporters standing there.
How do you think he would react to that?
He would cancel. He would get a stomach ache. He would have the shits.
You know what? He wouldn't know. He'd have to cancel the way he was afraid of the rain yesterday.
Yeah.
Molly, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you assume that major news organizations are hiring black women.
Oh, that's another episode, Molly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
But the other thing is, there have been other.
Get through a half a day of that plan. Are there any doctors in the house? Nope, none of them either.
Molly is
women in tech.
fuego.
Oh man.
There have also been other things. This has happened before, but this just comes to light again, where other people have suggested that if, for instance, with that guy Acosta, where he was removed or he wouldn't answer the question, then every subsequent person after that asks the same question until it's answered.
That would be cool.
But you'd have to get the entire press corps behind it.
But they're all and they're all out for bylines. They're all out for themselves.
Well, it's like the next guy after Acosta. He was like, I've been on tour or I've been traveling with him, and he's actually a due diligence reporter. And then Trump's like, well, I don't like you either, or I'm not a fan of you as well. So it's just you're fucking just stop.
Well, the problem,
just fucking stop.
And the thing is that as somebody who known a couple of people in journalism, there are times where some of these we'll call them A-list journalists, they spend a lot of time when off the record shooting the shit with some of these people, and so they build up. There's these personal ties in there that they try to distance themselves from the story, but they have to be personable to some degree in order to be able to get that close to the information, and so that's part of the reason why I feel like they don't press that hard.
Yeah.
And that's you're not different now.
You're not going to call civil. You're not going to call the president. You're not going to call the president a liar because you may have had a night where you sat there and drank scotch with the dude or whatever.
Here's what my father says.
Not anymore.
So
doesn't feel like that anymore.
We all know in the show that my grandfather was a politician, and my father tells me the story all the time. The biggest, not even a story. He just says one of the biggest issues nowadays is that back in the day, who was it? Tipper Gore? Not Tipper Gore. When Reagan was in president. Tip O'Neill. He said, Reagan had these policies, and Tip O'Neill and him would go have a scotch together. He's like, back in the 80s and 70s and beyond, if you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, we talk shit all day in the Congress, but we're going down to fucking Old Abbott Grill, and we're going to have a fucking couple of shots together, shake each other's hands, and we got more shit done.
Well, that's how the shit got done.
That's how shit got done. Backhand, you know what?
I mean, that shit still happens.
Yeah, I know it does, but it's less and less every day.
Well, it's less and less that we see because we never. Well, here's the thing: is we never saw that shit in the first place.
And I never wanted.
It wasn't
to see
until the
it.
motherfucking West Wing that motherfuckers had any idea that was how.
And we don't need to see that
shit got handled. You know what I mean? It was over a fucking steak and some fucking expensive ass scotch and some cigars.
I hate to break
from
it to
Cuba, illegal as a motherfucker, and that's how shit got fucking done.
House of Cards is real.
The other thing about Trump this week, there are two things that really have just
really grind your gears.
Grind my gears. The one thing is his response to the California fires.
Oh, you know what? I feel like we're jumping ahead. There's so much shit this week. There was so much
I
shit
know.
between Tuesday and today that has happened that, like,
Yes.
even with you doing that, I'm like, well, wait, there was like 5 other things
Jeff
that, like, he
Sessions,
did,
like,
with,
all
like,
this shit.
in between, like, all of that shit, and like, yeah, the
Firing of Jeff
choiring, because Sessions quit, but he basically got fired.
He got fired. He asked him to resign.
But he was he
The
requested that he
the choiring of the Keebler elf. Which, did we find any Keebler jokes? I'm sure there was like a fucking rack of them out there. Like,
It's like just look for Chuck Norris jokes with Jeff Sessions.
but they mean the opposite.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
fucking
there's just so much,
dick.
and I mean, I feel like
Oh, dude, I worked this event like last minute. They set up a stage and audio. Basically, it was the day after the Sessions firing. There was a rally to protect Mueller, and when it was over, everybody headed, like, it was right in Lafayette Park, so across the street from the White House. And when it was over, everybody basically went to the street, like right there in front of the White House, to protest. And while I was like breaking down this stage, these cats were like, I mean, they had drums, guitars,
drum sessions. Huh?
they had horns and shit, and they were chanting "Mueller's gonna get you" like for a long time. And
Well,
I'm
he's
like,
almost done with his. It's almost done.
it's gonna be so crazy.
I mean, do we really think it's going to be? Do we really think it's going to be?
Well, that's why this happened. Like, for those of you under a rock, Jeff Sessions quit / was motivated to quit by the president, which means he basically got fired. And the president has now appointed as acting attorney general, what's his name, Mike Whitaker?
Wilker. What?
wait, here it is.
Matt Whitaker,
Matt
excuse
Whitaker.
me.
Matt Whitaker.
And Matt Whitaker has been on record calling the Russia probe a witch hunt, and I think also trying to also raise money to help try to, like, stop the investigation. Basically, he's like the last person in the world that should be
Exactly.
taking over for Sessions.
Just like we don't want Chapo to be the head of the DEA.
Or do we?
Actually, probably do want that to happen. So you know what Whitaker also did? When he was on Don Lemon's show, he was in the green room with somebody else and sat there. This is about a year or so ago, and told him in the green room he's coming on CNN to be a contributor, but he's going to be so pro-Trump so he can get into his cabinet someday. And a fucking year later, here he is. And how many other people have been on these shows that Trump watches? As much as Trump talks shit about CNN, he watches that shit all the time.
Of course he does.
He has to.
He spends-
Yeah, he hates CNN.
hates Don Lemon.
CNN and Fox are his two favorites. He doesn't really pay a whole lot of attention to MSNBC. Like, I think he kind of considers them to be like kind of softies in the mix.
Yeah.
You know.
But Don Lemon is a fucking. I love him.
But he's got a hard on for CNN, like, down the fucking line.
really does.
You know. Don Lemon's his worst nightmare.
Oh fuck, Don,
You
a
shitting
young
me?
gay black
He
man.
probably loves Don Lemon. I bet he watches Don Lemon with
He
no
has to watch.
pants
He
on.
has to watch Don Lemon.
With no pants.
What you got?
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
Wonder if Jeff Sessions' resignation had to do with his recent arrest.
That's funny.
That's fucking hilarious. So, what do you guys feel like doing? You want to talk about this guest here we have going on?
I don't know.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Let's how about this? We actually did like a really decent job of like rolling through the script that you fucking wrote out.
I did. Or we did.
We did as a team.
We
Team effort,
I'm
motherfucker.
proud of this moment.
Team effort.
I'm so proud of my team right now.
So the only thing that we didn't do is the absolute last thing that you have on here before the break, and that is Trump being a fucking dumbass. It's supposed to be commemorating the armistice.
Oh, yeah, this
you
one.
know.
Sorry, I do want to talk about this one.
And the dude won't go out in the rain to, you know, memorialize
Commemorate
The picture of
100th
Obama's awesome.
the 100th anniversary.
That picture of Obama is killer
You know,
in the rain with the
Yeah.
umbrella.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to look
Oh,
like.
and dude, there's video where he like basically brushes past, like Putin brushes past a bunch of people, shakes hands with Angela Merkel, and then shakes Trump's hand, and then goes back to where he's standing when all the world leaders are like taking their photos. He basically shrugged off all of his presidential duties for this thing, but is still meeting with Putin on Tuesday for a working lunch or some bullshit.
Do you think it was about, like, listen, it's raining.
And his
got,
hair?
Yeah. And,
No,
and
it was-
makeup,
it's about
and
his
makeup.
hair.
Yeah.
It's 100% about
It's
his
about
hair.
his hair.
It's
'cause
about
He's
his
a
hair and
TV
makeup?
guy. He's like,
we're gonna see how bald he is. We're
That's
gonna
not
see.
gonna work for me.
Yeah, we're
You know
gonna
what
see
I mean?
how bald he actually really is.
Yeah, that's why.
And is the
100%.
orange
But I
makeup's
mean,
gonna
to be
run.
that vain.
Yes.
Of course.
And that, I mean,
Showbiz.
whoa, stop, calm down. I didn't say that I didn't believe that was a thing. I was just anecdotally being like, wow.
Take a shot.
Show
I'll
business.
take one because not because you told me to, motherfucker, and not because I.
No, but seriously, he's
you
that
want
vain.
one.
But I think the reason that happened is because the president of fucking Paris changed. Not Paris. Fucking.
Wow.
Yeah, it's give me a
Shot.
shot.
The president of Paris.
Who is on the Facebook?
No, but I think he changed it around so Trump and Putin wouldn't sit next together at one of these luncheons, and like he totally and like his speech was against Trump today. Like,
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm pulling that shit up. Yeah, so, the Prime Minister of France, Macron, basically just torched
he dogged him.
the ever-loving shit out of Trump.
Do you see that picture where he's pouting in the rain? Like,
And let's see, to quote him directly from his Twitter, patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Made this speech with Trump right in his fucking dome.
This is after him saying that they're still really good friends.
So patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. By putting our own interests first, with no regard for others, we erase the very thing that a nation holds dearest and the thing that keeps it alive, its moral values. And, this is not the first time that
every leader
Macron,
besides Putin.
well, Macron has got this
He did it at the White House.
he flames Trump and does it in this super Frenchy savoir-faire ass fucking way, dude.
'Cause
Where
that's
he
how
just
the
is,
French are.
C'est la vie,
he's got
motherfucker.
nothing. That's why with Trudeau,
Yeah.
he can't handle
Trudeau
he
does-
can't
Trudeau's
handle
the
Trudeau. Trudeau gives him the same fucking thing,
It's
dude.
amazing. I love how beautiful all that is, though. I mean,
Did you see
He's
his
like-
speech? Trudeau's speech today?
No,
It's amazing.
No, but
I mean, it's it made me want to be like, can you just take over our presidency too?
Well,
just add us all in.
the
Can we
good
just all be
news-
together?
we all
the
be
good
under
news
you?
can we
is
be central Canada?
the good news is that Lord willing, whoever is president, as long as it's not Trump, it will be a step up.
That's why
I'm
I
gonna
said
go
I
ahead
would
and
vote-
say that. I'm gonna just go ahead and say
Except for
that.
Pence.
I'm
At least he'll be
willing-
a
I'm afraid
politician.
of him.
He's the devil we know. We know
at
how
least he's
his
a
type of Republican operates.
Exactly.
True.
At least he's a
I-
He
politician.
is establishment.
I don't know,
Agreed,
man. I
agreed.
remember a time when we were like, man, George Bush is so bad.
Oh,
Because
no.
he was.
And
Dude.
George Bush is so messed up.
Have you seen the
That
Will
blah,
Ferrell?
Blah, blah. I'm just saying,
Will
like,
Ferrell was on.
we
last
thought we
season.
had reached a new low, and then here we are now. So I think it's careful to be like,
Will
this
Ferrell
is rock bottom.
as Bush does a bit where he's like, I just want y'all to know, as bad as y'all think this guy is, I was way worse. He's like, I was so bad, a reporter took his shoe off and threw it at me, and then he took off the other shoe and he threw it at me too.
Was that recently or back in the day?
When W was president.
That's why I'm assuming.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No. I meant the skit.
No, the skit was I think it might have been
Long
last
time.
season.
No, I
The,
remember
like,
him getting the shoe thrown because it was fucking
It was
awesome. It was
Will
good.
Ferrell was on not this past season, but the season before, I think. But
I mean, how good does Bush feel right now?
shoe me once.
Bush is.
Shame on you.
Shoot me.
Shoe me twice. I'm keeping both of them shoes. That shit was hilarious, dude.
No, but so this is Trudeau. Again, back to
Yeah, that's fine. Go
my
ahead.
love. I love him. I love him.
You love a lot of old white men.
He's,
Well,
He's not old
at
at
all. Never mind.
No,
never
he
mind.
is not old.
And French people don't get thrown into being white.
But
They're
he is
not
white.
considered
He's
white.
white.
He's
He's
never
so
They
white.
are light. They are of light
I'm not
complexion.
sure if I know
but
what
nobody
a white,
looks at French people and go,
But
"Fucking
he's
white
not
people."
French. He's
Because there's no
Canadian.
rednecks in Canada.
He's French Canadian.
Are there redneck Canadians?
Yes.
Oh, have you seen
Have you
Trailer
ever
Park
heard
Boys?
of the tuxedo, Canadian tuxedo?
Have you
That's
ever
all
seen?
denim. That's redneck as hell.
well,
Also, if you ever
but
go to
that's like
Calgary,
countrymen.
they have a thing called Stampede where it's all rodeo stuff. And it's the most.
I guess you're right there,
I'm not
yeah.
saying it's like redneck
Is
or
it-
whatever, but it's definitely super cowboy.
Isn't it like Brokeback Mountain type country?
No.
I don't know.
Tight
They're actually
denim
really into.
jeans,
Well,
fair backing.
They're
Every
just tight because
country.
they like stuff that fits, man.
So anyway, Trudeau is giving his speech in the rain with umbrella, and then he closes his umbrella and puts it away, and he says, "As we sit here in the rain, thinking how uncomfortable we must be these minutes as our suits get wet, our hair gets wet, and our
Hair.
shoes get wet, I think it's
Exactly.
all the more
Oh.
fitting." Hang on. I think it's all the more fitting that we remember on that day in I don't know how to pronounce this word. Jeepy.
Yeah, just go.
The rain wasn't rain; it was bullets.
Wow.
Damn.
He took his umbrella down. He was being. I mean, he was.
That was
telling
a
the speech in the
dig.
rain.
That was a good dig.
It was 100% a dig against.
I love
Trump.
these motherfuckers. I love everything.
It's the best. God, you guys need to watch
It's
it.
low hanging fruit. They can all just take shots in the media, but
Because they're actually
do
class.
something though.
They have class.
But do something.
What can they do?
I don't know.
It's up to
Sanction the
us.
U.S. Like
dude,
the
do you
world
have-
needs to.
do you have Hulu?
to punish us in a
Yes.
way where we are forced to have to react?
Write this down.
Because Americans don't know much else.
Little Kenny.
Sure.
You know. So
Little Kenny. It's a show on there. It's like a half hour. It's a half hour sitcom. It's you want to know about Canadian rednecks?
Wait, is it Trail Park Boys Canadian?
Trailer Park Boys is
course.
Canadian.
Yeah, they're rednecks.
But Little Kenny is just
I feel like I've seen that.
There's
let's have a
listen. I watched the Trail Park kids or guys, whatever the fuck they are. They actually have like a couple movies the couple movies I've actually watched, and the shit is hilarious. No, nobody else.
I'm not into it.
No, you don't like white
wow.
people?
You know what? I'm actually kind of with Boo. Although I know
I'm
a
not
lot of
into it.
people who
Like I
it.
try.
It's stupid.
I
you know?
love Canada. I love poutine.
sorry, I fucked up.
I
It's
mean-
Letter
Poutine.
Kenny.
You know what I mean?
Letter
love Tim Hortons.
Kenny.
I love Vancouver,
I don't like it
Winnipeg,
either.
Edmonton, Calgary,
3 against 1. You lose.
Thunder Bay,
It's
Toronto,
not the first time I lose on the show.
Quebec, Kingston,
I deserve all of that. All right, I'll watch it.
Nova Scotia.
You can stop.
There's
though.
so many places.
May I have another beer, please?
You want an ice house? Sure, there you go.
Oh no! Here, I stole the Tecates from Marcus from under the table when he wasn't looking.
I heard it slide, but I was talking.
You heard it.
It's like the electric slide. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Boogie woogie woogie.
First
know
of
what
all,
that's
I know,
hold
I
on,
know.
hold on. I'm pulling your white card right now.
Yo.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I don't
Did
know
you
that-
really just he said that. Wiggle, wiggle.
You can have my white card. Keep it forever.
Come on, dude.
flash
You
sale.
good? You good?
I'll give you $20 to take mine.
You can have my white card for one rib.
We spent
Preferably
almost like
mine.
2 episodes, 2 shows on the electric side. I feel like
Did we?
we did.
Boogie, you weren't here. It was
wasn't
Jamie
here.
was
That
filling
was
it for you.
Jamie.
I can't wait for you guys to rewatch this because I've been killing it with the B-roll.
We
over
know.
it.
I would like to see Boo do the electric slide.
Never gonna happen.
No, we
you
can't
know-
do it
hold
anymore.
On, do you know what that song's about?
The song?
Yes, the actual,
The actual
song.
Sex?
You're in the right ballpark.
A vibrator.
Oh.
It's. I was
Just
gonna
re-
say. I was gonna say.
You
I was gonna give him a hint and say
can't
Billy
see
Idol.
It's
Dancing with
electric.
myself.
Boogie,
Huh.
boogie.
Weird.
Just read the lyrics and you'll be like, oh shit, okay.
Then you won't be able to dance with grandma like
That makes
Oh,
sense.
I will.
at the wedding.
Mine are about to die.
anymore.
That's pretty amazing.
It is awesome.
Good for them. Lyrically good
Well,
for
the,
them.
the the guy who wrote it was like, I was waiting 30 fucking years
Yo.
for you guys to
He's
figure
like-
this out.
Blake is talking mad smack.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah?
It says, "I read on metal sucks that darkest hour piece sitting down."
Yeah. He's just mad that he's not on the show.
Damn, Blake. Blake, we'll have you on, bro. We'll have
That's
you
his 2-minute plug. He's just trying to get on there. He's at home drinking Guinness, just bummed.
At least he's drinking Guinness.
Yeah.
No, the man's
That's
got
fine.
taste.
The man's got taste. He's got a credit card.
Wow.
We love you, Blake. Good luck. Send our love to your parents upstairs.
I'm gonna do a shot for Blake.
That was a good one.
He can't defend himself.
Where are my pizza rolls? God damn!
My Tostitos.
I hate my roommates.
They live with me.
Oh fuck.
So should we take a break and then we
Yeah.
get ourselves resettled here and
Have a urinate.
we delve into our guest?
And until then, I'm going to play 2.5 minutes of Donald Trump.
Of what?
Donald Trump things.
Memes?
God.
Can you play Donald Trump memes with Darkest Hour in the background?
Could you actually just replace that with cat memes? Because the world needs more cat memes.
My ears are sweating.
Nothing.
Welcome back to the DCS Fuck Show. This is the Smokey White Devil, better known as Satan, a.k.a. Marcus Bradley Donovan. It's backwards, isn't it? Did you know that? I would be a horrible Elvis impersonator.
You would be the shittiest
be a
Elvis
terrible-
Because I
impersonator.
don't know any Elvis.
Val would be a better Elvis impersonator. Okay.
Because she's old enough to remember his music.
That
Ooh,
wow.
Zing.
That you know what?
I've
Val's playing the long game on you, dude. You talk all this smack. One day,
She's playing the long game.
one day, you're gonna be on some. I'm falling and I can't get up, and she'll be the only one there.
Ha ha,
Like-
motherfucker. She's the one who pushed me down the steps.
The only one.
What? You can't move? You can't feel your back? Fuck you.
That's ironic.
That's what you get.
Yo, shout out to Blake Harrison, dude. You made me laugh. That was awesome.
Wait, is he still commenting?
Well, no, he
that's
said I
kinda
didn't-
sad. He needs to.
He said, "Don't hate." He's like,
What?
No, it's funny.
That's a
like,
classic.
read it.
Don't
You gotta read it.
hate.
You gotta read it. You gotta
You're
read the whole thing.
hating.
You gotta read the whole thing. You gotta read the whole thing to get it
How
in
come I don't
context.
see all the?
Well, no, you do. That's the most recent one.
What's wrong?
might have to
also,
refresh your-
What is wrong with peeing sitting down?
I did it today. It was really comfortable.
It's really,
No.
really good thing to do when you're drunk,
I'm glad you say that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of. I don't know.
or if you just
All this
recently got a
toxic
Prince Albert.
masculinity, you
I
know.
mean, I don't know what
I
Blake's
enjoy
point
peace
is.
sitting down because I can play with my phone. It's like
I mean, when I wake up in the middle of the night and I've been drinking, do you know what I'm not trying to do?
aim.
Stand and aim and open my eyes.
Sit down. If you're
You
if
can
you're
sit
peeing,
on the toilet with your eyes closed.
I mean, the worst is trying to pee after you've came and shit.
It-
Shit shoots in 3 different directions.
if you're trying
That
to
is
pee on
the
a
thing,
tour
too.
bus, it's definitely better to sit down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
but
you don't-
but when one dude doesn't want to fucking do it, then you're not. You don't want to sit.
No
down.
one's sitting down.
So especially after a couple ice houses.
Stab and Marcus.
All right, so if I may, I'd like to take this time to introduce our guest. He is a founding member of Darkest Hour,
Yeah.
DC's premier heavy metal sons.
Okay.
You
I'll
know,
take it.
yeah, and we've known each other for quite some time, a very very
Yes.
long time.
Nice
ladies
name
and gentlemen,
drop,
You killed it. That was
dude,
good.
we're like best friends.
Hey, I'll take it.
We've met
That's my
you
boy,
Been
dude.
on friends on
yeah.
Facebook for like
What
for
truck,
like 8 years.
2 years.
what truck stop did you mean at?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Schleibaum, give it up.
Thank you.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
I will second that I'm very honored to have you here, especially after I looked at your Wikipedia page.
I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to talk all about me as long as it doesn't mean we're talking about Trump. So let's
About-
talk all about me.
Thank
Let's start with
God.
your Wikipedia.
Let's talk
picture.
about my Wikipedia page.
that picture.
The picture's old. Needs to
Picture's
be updated.
That's not a horrible picture.
But all you need to know is most of the information is there. And what is the information you didn't know? Well, that I am a shredder guitar player in the band Darkest Hour from Washington, D.C. Go ahead on your Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you YouTube later, and check us out. We have 9 full-length records. We have been around for 23 years. We have been playing shows in the D.C. area the entire time since 1995.
When I
Man.
first saw you guys, y'all were a straight edge. You guys were like you guys were
vegan,
kind of
straight
you guys
edge,
were like vegan
hardcore.
straight edge.
That's the
little
world.
Krishna twist.
In the mid 90s, this was a thing that was happening. The vegan straight edge was arising. It was pre-internet.
It's true.
And Darkest Hour was lucky enough to rise out of this small scene that came out of Washington, D.C. There was a lot of bands coming through, but there were not a lot of bands that were playing these shows. We did have vegan straight edge members, myself and John, the only actual members still in the band, but the other guys in the band were not. And, you know, we never from the beginning were sort of that style of band. But, you know, there were those bands that existed. Earth Crisis was all straight edge vegan. Shelter was all Hare Krishna.
108.
Yeah, 108 too. You know, you weren't in those bands unless you believed a distinct political mindset. And I mean, with Darkest Hour, we've definitely never been like a hive mind as far as political opinions. I do think the band has its own identity at this point, but the bands always had people that had kind of different ideas, but it was a cool place to arise from a band because my friends when I was a kid who were into metal, were into partying. They definitely went to house parties and got drunk and played in people's garages. But my friends that were into vegan straight edge were playing at matinee shows that people were coming to and moshing. Like they were going on tour and doing stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, I want to be around those people because I want to go on tour."
Yeah.
So, in a weird way, straight edge and the veganism straight edge really got me through a turning point in my life, which was I didn't get caught up in a lot of the traps that people do when they're trying to do music and they're in high school and they're in college because of that subculture we were a part of.
And it actually makes a lot of sense because you didn't get teased or like tempted by the White Devil.
Well, I mean,
the White Devil's always there. But
Yeah,
when
but-
you're
but-
around,
but
when
if
you're
you're
around, when you
that's what I'm saying,
you
but-
surround yourself with people that like are about so many other things.
Pigs.
I will tell you that
You know,
we have had friends in so many bands die from crazy things, that are almost absolutely drug related. That we definitely have a culture within our band where we definitely stay away from the White Devil. You know what I mean? I mean, our first rule is that we don't have rules, so
But then you
that's
have
kind of
rules.
weird. But
second
then we
rule
do
is be
have-
cool.
And then the second rule is, be cool, man.
Be cool.
Handle your shit.
Be cool.
Be cool, comma,
That's
handle
rule
your
number
shit.
3.
Handle your
your
shit.
shit.
Actually, with Darkest Hour, the first rule is there is no rule, and the second rule is actually a two-parter, and it seems like it shouldn't be a rule, but it's actually 2 rules.
They go
'Cause
hand
we
in
don't
hand.
really follow the rules at all, but you get my point.
Be
We have
cool.
survived for 23 years by having a strict, marijuana alcohol policy that we try to adhere by, but I'm not speaking for all 5 members, so I'll just leave it at that.
It's the same thing with this show.
I like that.
No, but at least you have a set of standards that you at least somewhat hold.
They're
people
very
accountable.
low, but yes.
It
You have
doesn't-
to
it-
be able to play the guitar or sing or drums like when it's stage time. That's our standard.
I mean, I think that's pretty. Yeah, you got to be able to play and know the fucking songs.
I'm actually downplaying it. Like the reality is that everybody in the band is actually kind of like a unique set of like idiot savant level kind of thing going on. Where they might like to party and be weird, but they really, 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 really like music. So the music that we're playing is hard to pull off live, and I invite anyone who is in the area to come see us play because.
And I mean, I've seen many incarnations,
You need to
many
see it.
lineups. I've seen many lineups of Darkest Hour.
Well, I have not.
And
I have not.
They've all been
not.
enjoyable.
We've
They
been
have,
growing and changing.
Yeah,
and
you guys have evolved.
Well, you should come
know.
see the lineups.
That's where I was going.
When is your next show?
We're going on tour. Okay, doing a little mini tour on the East Coast, starting on Tuesday. We're doing DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York, and then we're flying to Los Angeles to play the Power of the Riff Festival,
Nice.
And where are you playing on Tuesday? Where are you playing in DC?
U Street Music Hall.
Oh, you heard it, ladies
Keeping
and
it
gentlemen.
real on 1210. No, wait, no, that's 1210, but it's around 1210.
About
U
a
Street.
seven-
Yeah, and the reason we picked this venue is it's cool. It's different, It's like a little bit more intimate than say like the 930 Club
Oh, yeah.
or the
Absolutely.
Black
You'll-
Cat. And we're just trying to change things up. We've done a bunch of shows at Rock and Roll
When's the last time
Hotel.
you guys played a 3-foot stage?
It's been a minute, but I mean, in Europe, you'll get all sorts of different things. You have to make it work.
Yeah.
So we're not that picky. Well, you know what we do want? Here's what we do want: a backstage area.
Yes.
We want somewhere to be able to get ready, and almost, never do we have that. So we end up by the dumpsters out back, like before rocking a concert. You'll find all 4 of us.
John
hiding
Henry's screaming at rats to warm up.
yeah. I mean,
That's
he doesn't really warm up, but he's,
Trust me, I made that joke for a
trust
reason.
me, he doesn't warm up.
Hey, from one front man to another.
But yeah, so we got a tour coming up, and it ends in LA as part of the 20th anniversary for Southern Lord Records, who put out our newest album, which we're also promoting, which we crowdfunded ourselves,
That's awesome.
Amazing.
and then we licensed it to Southern Lord, and it is our 9th full length. So I think we sort of graduated from being on every record label we could have been on to now sort of
Owning
going
your
back
own
to
shit.
Well, owning and licensing. I mean,
Did you guys do a Victory record?
We did 5.
5. That's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
thought
half
y'all
of
had
our discography.
Half-
Thanks for doing your research before the thing. You know, your old
that's what
buddy.
they're for.
Yeah, they got the end.
I'm here for the love, not the logistics, man.
So we you know what the crowdfunding did was it gave us the ability to own the album and then license it.
Which is
And-
is brilliant.
Yeah, because in 2018, the only way to really monetize off of music is in the ownership of it. Because as they try to figure out the correct way to pay people for streams, the way music is monetized will change. I mean, one thing Trump just recently did was sign the Music Modernization Act. And, you know, it's not anything that
Some
he did
shit
special.
going on behind the scenes with all the crazy.
No, it's not anything he did special. It's something that's been at work for a while. And
Tell us about it.
Look, it's low-hanging fruit for both parties because it's an easy win. All it is saying that there has to be a restructuring of the way music royalties are paid out. You know, it hasn't been done since the internet was invented. And this bill kind of sets the groundwork for that. You know, you can obviously Google and read more about it, but it's called the Music Modernization Act. And as that comes into effect, the way musicians get paid is going to change. And I honestly believe, I hope it happens in our lifetime, but who knows, that there can be an arc where those of us who saw the internet be invented and basically destroy CDs, magazines,
Society.
Well, I mean, society's
Libraries.
always changing. To act like that destroyed anything, you know, it just really evolved things. You're gonna see it's gonna arc and it's gonna come back. And those of us who saw that basically the intellectual things that were created had no value will eventually, if you can maintain ownership. And the trap for a lot of bands is selling that off early to get
Make it
exposure.
die. Yeah.
Number one thing, the biggest lie that the devil ever told was exposure. You know what I mean?
Why is that? Why is that a lie?
Well, because, you know, it's just an endless, you know,
It's like the
do
carrot.
this for free, but you'll get exposure.
It's like the carrot at the end.
You know?
It's the
Yeah.
carrot. It's
but
the
but
carrot.
do this for money and I'll gain worth. And I'll know that my time and is worth this and I'll have proof that it is. Because you'll have paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, but that philosophy is lost because people think in the music industry it is, you know.
I mean, you've been doing
the
this shit for a
opposite.
long time, so I'm sure you've seen a lot of fucking
We've seen
backstabbing.
a lot of different styles of trying to do a band. And I mean, the truth is, it's a dirty business, you know?
I mean, it's a dirty business.
But every business is.
But this is a lot.
Have
this
you
is
ever
a
thought
lot
about
more
going
money.
into managing?
I have dabbled. I have it down on one of my things that I've done.
Oh, okay.
But I don't find it particularly exciting. I mean, I do manage the band Darkest Hour currently. Like, we are self-managed, you know, and we've had a lot of different management companies over the years. A lot of different people have worked for the band. We have booking agents still. We have publicists still. We still work with the record label. But it's a lot to handle the entity at this point. And what you crave most of all is control. And that's why we turn to crowdfunding, which is almost an embarrassing look for some people for a band where we're at in our age, having been on all these labels and stuff. But really, we've been searching for creative control, and then we realize, like, oh shit, we also need to be looking for monetary control.
Well, and you guys aren't the only band to have done it. You're not the
No.
only artist to have done it. So I mean, there's not like, you know, I mean,
I don't think I will do it again.
You're using the tools that the times have presented, you know, to do it, you know.
So you did a crowdfunding. So what did you actually pay for?
Everything.
Like studio?
Still paying for it. Charge it to the game is the new mantra.
Charge it to the game.
Charge it to the
So,
game.
but what I'm saying is, like, did you pay for studio time?
Oh, yeah.
Why not buy a studio?
Well, because here's the thing. I'm not looking to shirk this system, okay? I wanted money to make a sick-ass record. So I could make a studio. Fuck yeah. I could buy a bunch of fucking badass shit. Or I could hire Kurt Ballou, who's produced hundreds of fucking badass records you love. The guitar player from Converge. He's done High on Fire. He's done Municipal Waste. He's done Converge albums. I mean, he's done so many amazing albums that the level of talent that this guy brings is totally different than buying a studio.
Okay. Well, no.
So,
See that.
and why we did 2 albums with Devin Townsend, we flew to Vancouver, spent enormous amounts of money
I'm
to
really
do
mad
records
that I
with
missed
him.
out on
I
at the
don't know.
Brits.
I think we stupidly thought we should invest everything in just trying to make the best possible thing. And possibly it might have been a better business strategy to play defense, but we are like ride or die, wheels fall off type people. So we took 100% of the money earned and we invested in the album. We did not pocket 50 grand and make the album with 20, which easily could be done in 2018. No fucking problem. But we did not do that. And now some people might look at that and go, you guys are stupid. But the reality is we come from a series of albums and a system and a way of doing music that, to us, that album that we created is worth that. Yeah. It's worth that much money.
Well, you were saying earlier, and going on your whole theme of like monetary this whole thing, you said earlier you were on Facebook streaming live before Facebook realized how monetary.
Well, Facebook was originally was pushing the Facebook Live feature.
But I feel like it's the same thing. What you did is like it's going to be a new norm, and eventually, you're basically like in the restaurant industry. We're talking about like seeing around the corner. Like you need to be able to see around the corner to be the next great restaurant.
Unfortunately, seeing around the corner has mostly brought us just a new string of work. To have to do.
Meaning
not,
what?
Well, like, okay, now we're going to crowdfund. Guess what? Doing everything fucking sucks. You know? Or, okay, now we're going to manage our own band. But you know what? Answering every fucking email sucks. Following every deal. So I think...
But what you said at the end, though, it's the monetary... It's...
Well, the only reason that the monetary thing is so important, because we'll spend money on stuff. The only reason it's so important that they're gonna... You guys going to...
No. You guys good over there? Yeah. You guys are fucking...
Is because we want to just stay alive, you know? So that's why we do weird shit. Like, you know, we just introduced a new ice cream.
Oh, yeah. You were saying it earlier. Let's talk about this.
So, all right, let me tell you about it. First of all, you guys need to know, in Washington, D.C., if you're coming here, you need to know about this new punk rock landmark. It's called Mount Desert Ice Cream. I don't know. Actually, I didn't probably say it right.
Oh, shit. No.
Mount Desert Island ice cream. I don't like the island, but it's in there.
Is it
Not
Desert
Mount,
Island?
Listen, Mount Desert Island ice cream, DC.
All right, what
Check it out.
What is it?
Mount Desert Island is a brand of ice cream. It exists in one or two places. It's really high quality from Maine, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But they franchised a ice cream shop to Discord Record employees, Brian Lowett and Melissa. They both work over at Discord, and Brian has also been doing Love It Records. They rented out a building that is owned by the one and only Jason Hammaker, who's a big shot DC punk icon. And they all got together, and they're making this ice cream shop, which is super cool. It's a bunch of punk people doing awesome, crazy ice cream flavors. So we came up with this idea of doing signature Darkest Hour flavor, and they helped us design it, and it's killer. It is dark chocolate and whiskey infused.
Of course.
Yum.
Why would it not be?
It tastes so fucking amazing. And it is a cool spot to go because, as a person who loves drugs and alcohol, I will tell you, it's occasionally nice. It's occasionally nice to go places with people where you're not going to get totally obliterated or whatever. And this is just like an ice cream shop. And you go and you hang out, and it's social.
It's in Mount Pleasant.
Yep, it's in Mount Pleasant.
What?
So that's Mount Pleasant, Mount Desert.
Wait,
No,
Mount
Mount
Desert.
Ice cream.
Island.
It
Mount
all
Desert
makes sense
Island.
now.
Mount
Mount
Desert
Desert.
It's
Island.
all coming together.
Mount
Island.
Desert or Mount Desert?
Dessert.
Is
So-
there two S's or one S?
Marcus, remember the
One
video
S.
that I posted on Halloween when I was at Archipelago? And there was the bands. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was Mike playing guitar.
Oh, yeah, I
You
remember.
didn't know that?
He didn't know that.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't
we
know
put-
you at the
I
time.
knew that because I was
so
there.
another thing we did recently is we did a benefit as part of the Spirits in Black annual Halloween party that is thrown by the lovely Miss Ashley May.
Shout out to Ashley May.
And it's cool. And I don't know,
And
they donated
Andy O.
over $2,000 to RAIN, which is
It's awesome.
I don't know what the acronym means exactly, but it's rape
Rape
in
assistance, something,
yeah.
something.
It's a good cause. You know, Ashley May always has it on point, and it was a killer party, and we did all Misfits covers. There were 3 Misfits
That's
bands,
it. Why didn't you invite me, asshole?
and it was cool.
Because it was Halloween and you were off doing probably tripping balls or
But hey,
being concussed.
It's
Or
the Rape, Abuse, and Incense National Network.
there you
thank
go.
you.
I didn't want to not get that.
No, perfect. And people should go donate money.
It was
to
a
them
really,
because,
really awesome night with
Yeah.
3 Misfit cover bands,
yeah.
including Mr. Mark
And that
himself.
organization needs money, so go ahead and donate to them. And organizations like that need money.
Where was it at?
And
And-
volunteers.
It was
and-
at Archipelago.
It-
That's
was
Owen's
a-
place, right?
Yeah.
On the corner of the old Jamaican.
Where the
They're
Islanders-
actually
The old
actually-
Islander,
Oh, that's
yeah.
what I mean. They're actually old. The guys who opened that are friends of mine. I worked with them at
So-
St. X.
So we have this ice cream. You
Name
guys
dropper.
gotta go. You
Right?
guys need to go get this ice cream because it's only
I
going to be
want it.
there until
What's it
November
called?
22nd. Savor the chill.
Savor the chill.
And it-
Now, you guys have also had a beer made courtesy of DC Brow.
Yep, and that was called Savor
way.
the Swill.
Savor
And that
the-
is no longer in press, but it may be in press in a later installment.
And
They-
I believe it was their
a
first
popular-
Hell's Lager.
It was a Hellas, yeah. It
Hellas
was
and
it
quite
was a
good.
Hellas. It was a low alcohol content beer, so it was good. You could have a couple and just be partying. Very similar to your.
gonna ask Lizzie about
Tecate.
it.
Conte.
But they don't have it in. That Savor the Chill is a play on that, and it's interesting because we also the song Savor the Kill became our biggest Washington Capitals fight song because we've
I
also
saw that.
partnered with the Washington Capitals. We have an entire line of Washington Capitals hockey jerseys. We did their goal scorer song for a few years in a row.
That's awesome as fuck.
We did their theme song
How
for
did
the
you-
EA Sports.
How did you make that happen? Who did
All
that?
right,
Did
I'll
they
tell
reach
you.
out to you? Or you reached out
No,
to them?
listen to me. It took. Okay, first of all, it started with Pantera. Pantera did a theme song for the Dallas Stars. You guys ever heard this theme song?
No.
I
It's
never
awesome.
even heard of the Dallas
No.
Stars.
Dallas Stars are an awesome hockey team.
They used to be the Minnesota North Stars.
Pantera did
Yes.
it. Pantera did the theme song for them. I was a kid. I was a Pantera fan. I always thought this was cool. I keep bugging the guys in the band. We should do a Capital song. We should do a Capital song. So finally, one studio session, they all break down and they fucking do it. They hate me and they do it. And I go and I get all my buddies. We all get drunk and we record a bunch of Capital shit over top of it. And we put it all over the internet.
like screaming.
And some people thought it was cool.
Can we find this on like YouTube?
It's on there. It's called I think it's
definitely
Let's
found it.
Go Caps.
Yeah.
And then there's Rock the Red, which was the second one. So Let's Go Caps got like some random plays on like the Washington DC sports stuff because they needed like some music.
Yeah.
But it was a little heavy. So I could see that there was a little bit of traction for it. So he convinced all the guys to do another version of it called Rock the Red because the Caps had just recently changed their
to
slogan.
red, yeah.
And I had some friends who had met some people who were in the upper office who were like, if you guys can make this, maybe we can get it in their eyes. So we actually made a better version of the song. We made a little bit sharper looking graphic,
Little mellower.
all by ourselves, and put that up on the internet. And then people started liking it a lot. We got a lot of attention from the team. They wanted to use the song. Radio started playing it because we had tailored the song perfectly for the things that didn't work from the last song.
I love that.
So that worked really well, but the Caps didn't win. So then they asked us again, one more time. But this time we decided, all right, we're going to make it a little edgier. So we themed it around the Unleash the Fury, third period Capitals rally cry that they do. Because to me, this was like the theme of the Capitals' entire franchise is like revenge, So they actually were winning, and that was last season. And we got to play on NBC Sports. We got to do a lot of awesome stuff. But they eventually had to abandon the song because I think it was just a little too aggressive. Yelling Unleash the Fury.
But fuck it, you still got on the Caps thing, and you were
Of
still
course.
on the radar.
And
That's
I got
fucking-
in the owner's box, bro.
That's fucking.
What?
Hell yeah.
That's
Vaping in the owner's box with the Fox 5 morning team. I
Gang,
didn't say
gang.
With the
Fox
Fox
say that?
5
morning.
morning.
I didn't say that they were there. Did I say that live? I
Did
didn't
you
say it.
vape with them?
Didn't say that.
Wait, stop. Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Okay.
you were vaping with them.
Possibly. All right. Possibly I was in the owner's box with Aaron Deal, who plays bass in Dark Sour.
Molly, is there sound to the song that we can hear?
No.
Okay.
But and it is possible that I don't know. I don't know if this is a video they cut using the song or what.
Is it-
I have no idea. Or somebody
there's
cut.
like
it.
Wait, so this is
It's
the,
like
like
fan
the fight
highlights.
song.
I have no idea. But
It's fan highlights.
they were
It's-
great. We wanted to play the national anthem, but then that got stupid. Like insanity.
They should have let you.
No,
have you
they
ever
don't
seen?
want
Have
us
you
to
ever? Have
touch
you ever
the
seen this
national
dude
anthem.
play Eruption?
They don't want us to touch it. I wanted to do like a sick Iron Maiden harmon. I was weird about it though because I'm not
Molly,
into
can you pull up on
nationalism,
YouTube?
so I don't really like
Mike
the
Schlabon
it was
playing
hard.
Eruption.
No, it's not going to find on YouTube.
Come on,
All right, my
it's on
point is,
there. It's on there. You know it's on there.
If you are a hockey
playing,
fan,
Mike.
Stop playing, Mike. It's
if
on
you are a
there.
hockey fan, check
am.
out. We have a really cool partnership we did with this company called Puck Hockey.
Puck
And
cocky.
they have a line with Snoop Dogg that's
I feel
really
so
cool.
dirty.
I was going to say something about gin and juice.
I'm
You
gonna
said
take a
Snoop Dogg.
shower.
They have a really cool Snoop Dogg hockey jersey line. They have a Meshuggah one. They have their biggest selling jersey is Overkill.
Nothing makes sense anymore. I fucking love Overkill.
So you should go check them out. It's
Hello
Puck,
from the gutter.
It's Puck Hockey, PUCKY, just HCKY.com. And they have a cool Darkest Hour line. You should check it out. And I'm all for the combination of hockey and heavy metal.
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. You think about it.
Absolutely.
Thrashing, slashing.
What was that website?
Puck Hockey, PUCKY, HCKY.com.
PUCKY?
Yeah, Puck.
Pucky?
Or is
No,
it
CUPK.
CUPK?
Yeah.
And then
Puck.
H.
HCKY.com,
Uh-huh.
I think.
Oh, HCK's hockey. Ha.
Google it.
Huh.
Nobody needs to know the name of anything anymore. Can you just plug it in?
Or is it HCKY?
Yeah.
HCKY.
That's what he said.
It is what he said.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! They have an Exodus hockey jersey.
There you
Get the
go.
fuck out of here.
Mo money, mo money.
So I see that you
I mean-
played a Halloween tour with Gore, and then recently,
That was a few years ago.
2 years ago.
I just went and
Wait,
saw
what- say
Guar
that
like
band's
2
name
nights
again?
ago.
I'm not doing
Though.
it again. I realized I said it wrong as soon as I said it.
Say that again. Say that again.
Listen, I'm white from Delaware.
Delaware who?
Della who?
Delaware.
Della what?
But this is interesting. He has my Wikipedia right here.
Yeah, let's.
I'm saying Monday morning you got to go in and do a Wikipedia
Well, he
purge.
can't do it. They don't want him to do it. We got to
You
do it.
can't.
I know.
Internet, get on your act and update this Wikipedia.
I want to
Careful.
test
Please,
them
somebody,
in
can you
Jersey.
update? There are a lot better photos of me, someone on the internet.
So, Mike, what you're saying is, will these people make custom
No,
hockey
no,
jerseys?
they sell.
I know they sell them.
How
but
are you not getting
Oh,
sued?
oh my God!
Do they
I
make
just
them?
want to
If
tell you guys,
I'm-
in the middle of this podcast, in the middle of my interview, Boo is trying to get some crushing Boo jerseys made. In the middle of do a shot.
Penalty shot.
He's like, yo, they gotta make. Yo, how much they charge you?
Hey,
Richard?
I got a
Yo,
Boo
can I
cr-
get
I got a-
double sided? I'm trying to get this DC
First of
flag on
all,
the front. And
dude, I don't know
got
what
a
you're
Crush
talking
I got
about.
a Crush and Boo hat on.
First of all, second of all,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
allegedly,
Second up, can I
Firstly-
get the number of the guy who does?
Smokey.
Smoky White.
So wait, how are you
Smoky
not
White
getting
and Satan.
sued?
Because you know what? The Capitals are not the Redskins.
Oh, shout out to the giant middle finger
Listen,
pointed at Dan Snyder.
Let me tell you something.
Ted Leo's.
Like Ted has done an amazing job.
Love him.
I had the honor of meeting him. I don't know a lot about him. I know that he has a lot of dealings with stuff, but everything
Sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you.
to Ted and the team. Congratulations on the cup.
Congratulations. Woo!
Yeah, damn.
Hey.
They are kind of kicking ass this year, aren't they?
They're in a ruddy right
You know, if the Caps were to come to me tomorrow and go, "Yo, kill it," I heard your thing on DC as fuck. I saw you drinking.
Well,
I heard
don't
your
worry about that.
I heard your
happening.
leftist border, anti-border,
Leftist.
crazy, anti-country
definitely not watching
theology. I'd be like, all right, it was cool. It was a good run. I'm tired of punishing my fans about hockey all the time anyway. But this is something I like. This is something the band likes.
Dude, we had Sam the Horn guy on a few months ago.
Yeah, right after the cap.
And so,
He was
yeah, it
stoked.
would have been great to
No,
have
I
had
lo-
you
I-
guys both on at the
well,
same time.
he can't
awesome.
steal the
Sam the Horn
thunder
guy's
from me. He
amazing.
needs his own episode.
Well, he
That's
did.
why we gave it to him.
Yeah,
That's why we
he
did.
had it.
That's why we did. But now that you've been on and he's been on, maybe depending on how the Caps do, we have you both on.
Well,
Yeah,
look, here's the thing.
and
I'm,
we just geek out.
That was a
there's
good, yeah.
That was
there's
a good
not a
time.
lot of heavy metal from Washington D.C. And so we were happy to supply the heavy metal soundtrack for the hockey team because we love hockey. Football's embattled in the city.
It's fucking the owners are different.
so-
That's the thing.
And baseball just isn't really the same level of intensity.
Well, it's brand new.
I'm not a baseball.
What?
I'm not anti-baseball. I think you can not be a
Hey,
baseball
hey,
fan.
Hey, Boo, can you vape in those seats now and shit?
Can you vape in those seats?
Can you just like party it up in the seats in baseball? It's outdoors.
I feel like
no.
people don't notice.
I can maybe
That's,
get
you
down.
know what?
I do like eating a hot dog and some
Last time I was at a baseball game, it was with
pretzels.
Tom White, and we had to leave because security pulled some shit, and he was like, "We need to leave right now."
So I would be
Like,
arrested.
it was
huh?
they.
All right.
No, because you have your invisible.
oh,
you have your
oh,
cloak
oh,
of.
oh, I might-
you have your cloak of caucasity.
I had my white devil. I had my white devil.
You
sleeve.
have your cloak of
Caucasity.
caucasity, so
White
you could
devil
probably
sleeve,
you could probably
white
spit on a
devil
couple of
sleeve.
people, and they'll probably.
Don't tap me.
Well, sorry,
Mom.
sir. We'll pay for your Uber home. Please, just, don't sue us.
Your Uber.
Don't call your dad. Like you know, not you specific.
I
You
know,
know,
I
You know what I'm saying?
I got a white devil cloak.
The cloak of caucasity. It's 3
I just
Ks.
What
wanna
is
keep
that
saying white-
dance? What is that? What is that?
That's my white devil dance.
That's his
No.
white and
That's like a Snoop dance.
it's his
dude. You're like-
entitlement dance.
You're like
Well,
stealing.
you
it.
took
That's
my
like
whi-
a Muppet.
He's in
thing.
white.
You took my white card away earlier, so I lost my white card.
You can never take his white card away.
I don't
That's just
have a
like,
white.
You are a white card.
I am a, I'm a white line. Let's keep talking.
Jerome.
That's my safe word. That's my safe word.
Ooh, dog lines of white Jerome. White Jerome.
I resent that.
You or resemble it.
Smokey. Smokey.
Smokey.
Smokey!
All right, no yelling.
Sorry.
No,
Oh,
spit it out.
whoa. After that, first of all, for those of you, I hope the mics have not been picking up granola palooza that was going on the other side of these walls for the last hour and some change. So
they
as
were
loud as we were, as loud as we are right now,
No, I
and
mean
as
for
loud
the
as we were about
recording.
being last week. Yeah, okay, you're right. For recording purposes.
Sorry,
you're
Boo's a
correct.
singer but doesn't understand.
I'm a
the mic
vocalizer.
clipping when he screams.
Yeah.
to
I'm a
it.
vocalizer.
Granola Palooza.
Wait. First of all, I've been
Palooza's great.
I've been in the studio with you producing. I am very well aware about microphones.
Why haven't the
clipping.
two of you done more things together?
We've tried. Well, you know, we have. We've done
We
some
did the
stuff.
Domino's team demo.
He produced Supreme Commander's
Supreme Commander.
one and
Did you get
only
Supreme-
full-length
Dude,
record.
hey, I have
Can
an
you get-
unreleased Supreme Commander record.
He's got
recorded.
scratch tracks.
I have the demos.
Can you get those assholes back in the studio so they can do another fucking?
No, I don't think I
Oh,
can.
my
Can I tell you,
God.
if you want to talk to the producer of Supreme Commander for a minute, I'll put my hat on for a minute and I'll tell you. The problem with the band is there's a lot of infighting. This is hard to get together, dude. I don't know what it is, but there's like a perfectionist thing going on.
Wow.
Is that Boo? Is that
It's definitely
Boo?
not me. It's definitely not me. I have the easiest job in the band.
Can we kick?
It's
I'm
totally
not quite
me.
sure what Boo does to play into this whole thing.
Can we kick the other guy out?
I show up and try to remember the words. Actually, I show up.
Whatever. I remember what I remember recording about you is that you didn't need to look at the words; you remember them.
That is the
Because
thing.
he's not really saying anything.
But a
He's
lot of
screaming.
singers that no, but there's something to the way a singer delivers when you're recording them stuff when he's or she is
When
not
they talk,
reading it.
and I'm not going to go and compare myself to Jay-Z, but just for the sake of lunacy,
ahead.
Please don't.
for the
'cause
sake
you're-
of
'cause
lunacy,
you're sitting
Hold
here
on.
with me.
For the
and
sake
Jay-Z
of
this
and
conversation
Beyonce.
went. I went from like talking about how Boo remembered his words,
right?
Because Boo.
Right.
and then Boo's like, "Wait,
Jay-Z.
Hang
Right.
on.
not to compare myself to Jay-Z,
Right.
But Boo, you're sitting
But-
with me. He's sitting with
But
Beyonce.
for the sake of lunacy,
Let me compare
for the
myself.
sake of lunacy, minus the Beyonce factor and all the money and fame and riches and
album
shit in
sold.
my life,
Album
And
sales.
the
the
album
one
sold.
thing,
Grammy.
the
the one
bidets,
thing,
the house.
The one
Look at-
thing.
Here's my
Minus all
Here's
those
a,
other.
new, here's a new weekly segment called
wait.
"The One Thing I Have in Common with Jay-Z."
Nothing.
There might be one. Well, he's got at least one thing.
I'm black and so is Jay-Z. Is the one thing we have in common. I have teeth and so does Jay-Z.
In this week's installment of "The One Thing I Have in Common with Jay-Z." No, but like I memorize all the lyrics to the shit that I do before we go into the studio.
What you?
And so they always talk about Jay-Z goes into the studio, doesn't bring a pad, doesn't bring a pen, doesn't bring any paper. He basically does the same shit. He works his fucking shit out before he goes in and lays it down.
No. Let me tell you what I think.
Or
There's no way he does
he
that.
truly is a superhuman.
I-
He's the rapper equivalent of a Super Saiyan, and I am just the fucking.
He's Super Saiyan.
He has
I am
he has a
just
pretty good idea what he's gonna do. He does one or two passes of that, and then he does a bunch of passes of crazy ad lib shit, and then somebody later goes through, chops them up,
Chops
puts
it
it
up.
together, and goes, "Hey, check this out." And he goes, "No, I don't."
So
like
what you're
that."
saying is I'm a better MC than Jay-Z.
I
Why'd you do that?
definitely
Why'd you do that?
didn't
That's what
say
you
you're,
that.
you're,
I'm a better.
But-
I'm better. I'm better at remembering my lyrics
I didn't
when I
say
go
that
into the
either.
studio.
He has a lot more words,
and I
than
can
you.
do it in fewer takes.
Oh yeah, well,
I bet Jay-Z
he might
can't
put out
yell
another
like you.
album before you do. So
Oh,
you can get some more records out
absolutely.
there.
Oh, 3.
Hey, should I
Three.
just put out the
There's
album
no
that
mic
is already
drop.
recorded?
There's no
Yeah.
mic drop. There's no mic drop.
Because you got to pick it up first.
There's no mic drop.
The people
We never
that
held it in the first
we
place.
really want to hear this album are me and Boo. So,
Hashtag Supreme Commander.
I want to see Supreme Commander actually do some shit and get.
yeah,
I mean, I saw your show.
2019.
Yeah, yeah.
The album's coming out.
You guys were, you know.
Well, this leads me into a
I
friend
can't
of
wait
mine.
to tag all the dudes in the band to
for a
this
lo-
fucking show.
for a
It's
lo-
gonna be amazing.
For a
I
lo-
cannot wait.
For a long time in my life, I had a good friend. His name was Brian McTurnan. You can find him
BMT.
on this Wikipedia. He's a producer out of Baltimore, Maryland. who
Not
had-
on paper. You have to actually go on
Yeah,
Wikipedia,
Baltimore.
Marcus.
He had a studio called Salad Days,
Balmer.
where there was a lot of
Hey, that's
records
my
that were done
hometown,
there.
yo.
Hot Water Music, Senses Fail, Darkest Hour,
Salad Days is
Strike
epic.
Anywhere, a lot of killer. So Brian got out the recording game a couple years ago, and recently I've been punishing him the entire time to get back in the game. So recently he reopened his studio in Baltimore, and we're pretty excited about that because he's going to be able to start doing a lot more albums over there. And he did a bunch of our albums, the earlier albums that we did, and it's kind of cool to have like a newer spot where hopefully we can bring this Supreme Commander thing to full circle.
like I said, I want to see this.
You know,
Let's go
but
and I
it's
play
really
once
about
a
the
year.
band. Like I do have the unreleased version of the album.
Can you give it to me? Can I see it?
Let's leak it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we leak
nudes.
it on DC as fuck? And we'll
Uh,
let Massey-
I'm
on
ready
the
to leak it as
Wikipedia?
soon as I finish getting paid for that.
How much you need? How much more you need?
No,
I'll crowdfund the
Supreme
shit out.
Commander pays
I'll-
me in weed.
Pretty solid deal.
That's a really good. I can talk to you.
Okay,
I want to release.
find
this.
me after the podcast.
I know where you are. I feel like we need to do the rest of that outhouse. Fuck.
The outhouse.
Ooh, you pretty much nailed it, though.
Could you imagine if a beer was actually called Outhouse and not fucking Ice House?
And it was shaped like an outhouse.
Outhouse beer. It's like, well, you're gonna
I
end up.
think-
Their slogan.
gonna
Their
end
slogan
up
is.
in the outhouse.
Their slogan is. You're gonna end up there anyways. Might as well.
Might as well give it.
Might as well start here because you're going to finish here.
By Full Circle Breweries. Shenanigans.
Since 1855.
Bullshit.
55.
Who makes that?
water.
Who makes that shit?
Brought to you by How Come Every Time I'm in the kitchen,
You in the goddamn
you in the kitchen.
eating all the chitlins.
Eating all the pig's feet.
I like pig's feet.
I do not.
Yeah, what's up
Have
with
you ever
that?
had pig's feet, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm a chef, motherfucker. Of course I have. I've eaten every piece of that pig.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really call yourself a chef until
If you haven't eaten every piece of
if
that
you
pig-
haven't tasted every inch.
If you haven't taken
Every
if you haven't taken pork
single
skin,
inch.
if you haven't taken pork skin or chicharron and dipped it into the pork's brain during a pig roast, you are not a chef.
Oh,
And can I
brain.
say?
I'm throwing up.
I'm Filipino.
Boo,
We
safe
eat
word
pretty
on
Can
much
that.
I
everything.
say one of my
Jerome.
No
greatest,
offense,
hold
but
on.
y'all eat dog.
One of my greatest moments was
We
that.
don't eat dog.
Yeah, you do.
Safe word.
No, we don't.
I was at Three Stars Brewery. Shut
Different
up,
Asian.
Manny Pacquiao's father ate his dog. He ran away from
Different
home
Asian.
and became. You said Filipino.
Yeah.
Manny
Filipinos don't eat
Pacquiao is
dog.
not Filipino.
He is.
Okay, so
Just
I was
because
just.
one person eats dog
I
doesn't
am
mean
not
the whole
saying
people eat dog.
that. I am not saying that. I was literally just taking
I
an
kind of feel like we should
anecdote
get off this conversation.
from a story that I know. Manny Pacquiao's father was
Boo's
an
safe
alcoholic.
word?
Manny Pacquiao came
What was
home one
Boo's
day.
safe-
White.
Jerome.
What is your safe word?
Slayer.
I wrote-
What's your safe word, bro?
Slayer. See, it's easy to remember.
Blair.
Okay. Anyways,
So
Manny
anyway.
Pacquiao's dad did eat his dog,
Whatever.
That's
okay.
And his-
terrible.
That's horrible.
and he's Filipino.
So I was at a Three-Star Brewery. You know Three-Star Brewery? You ever heard of that
No,
place?
never heard of
Three
him.
star.
Shout out to Dave Brown.
So
Dave Coleman. And
Wow.
Dave Brown. Shout out to Dave Brown too.
Damn.
Because he'll be at the
You can't
damn
get the
nation
fucking
show.
names right.
Why not?
I know a lot of Daves.
Shout out to Dave.
I know a lot of Mikes.
So anyway, we were there.
Shout out to
Alrighty.
Dave Davidson.
Shout out to Matt Brown.
Shout out to Matt Brown
Yeah,
too.
shout out
Matt
to
Brown, Matt Burger,
Hey, Matt Brown.
Speaking of
the
cynics,
Hamburglar,
Shout out to everybody.
Mayor
dude.
McCheese. Fucking. Shout out to Grimace. What?
All the Browns.
You get a shout out. You get a shout out. You get a shout out. What?
I don't even talk about pig brains anymore. All right. You got any more?
Plug some shit, Mike. Plug some
I gotta
shit.
get Boo out of here.
All right,
Tell
let's
us,
see.
tell us again about
I
your.
plug
Tell
the
us,
album.
tell us about the tour
album.
and
Okay.
your next show.
All right, Darkest Hour is going on tour. Washington, D.C., Tuesday, November 13th. I can't believe I remember that date. Wednesday, November 14th, we will be in Baltimore at the
Balti.
Soundstage. Thursday, November 15th, we will be at the lovely Voltage Lounge in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Nothing's
On
lovely
Friday.
about Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you never had a cheesesteak, my friend.
Yeah, right?
Or a
There's-
grinder.
Jamie, where are you?
Are definitely lovely.
All right, let's keep going.
And then on November 16th, we will take this party to Brooklyn, New York at the Kingsland, Brooklyn. They're having their anniversary party. We're going to headline that. Then we're going to head over to California to play with Sun 00 on the Southern Lord Records 20th anniversary concert. 2019, we've got a Canadian tour. We've got a European tour. We've got a Japanese tour. We've got an Australian tour.
God damn.
Can I just like?
So we're
Can I-
looking at
can I go on the road with you guys?
2020. We're
You need
looking
a
at 2020 for the 25th anniversary of the band and the release of another
You need a
album
personal
or something.
chef?
2020. Yeah, because that would be
2020.
the band came out in '95, so 2020 is the 20th.
You need a personal chef? I mean, I'll come and cook.
You need
I don't
personal
need-
security.
I don't need money. I can just cook and travel and shit.
We really like fast food.
I can make
Yeah.
I can make it.
Can you make a sick like?
Yes.
Can you replicate a Big
What
Mac?
would be the darkest?
Yes.
Nah, we're not really into McDonald's, man.
Well, what kind of fast food
Do
then?
you like Taco Bell?
Well, we have
Bell?
eaten at
Can you
every,
replicate Popeyes?
Having toured as much as we have, we've eaten at every fast food
So what's your
restaurant that
favorite?
exists. Well, there's a lot of nuances. Are you talking about my favorite fries, my favorite burger, my favorite what?
Yes.
I like In-N-Out Burger, but a lot of people tell you that Steak and Shake is better.
Steak and Shake is good as shit though.
I mean, but In-N-Out.
I like Checkers better than
In-N-Out
all
is
of
only
them.
over
Really?
there.
I mean, I love Check. I'm not
but
a
if
fucking.
you are,
fuck with Checkers
but if
like a
you are going
motherfucker.
on the vegetarian rating, then they have a different system.
You know, used to be a vegetarian.
Why would
Me,
I? Wait, have you seen me?
We
When
have
have I ever
vegetarian.
gone on a vegetarian rating for anything?
I
don't
used
know,
to be
me.
a vegetarian and a pescatarian. I can cook the shit
So
out of
there's
that.
a
You're a
lot of
wackatarian.
I really like the I like the sea salt fries at Wendy's, you know, but some people like the McDonald's fries. Some people like Taco Bell. Some people like Arby's.
You know what? Just fucking eat fast food and shut the fuck up,
I'm
right?
a
Go fuck
I'm a
yourself.
methitarian.
Oh, have you ever been? Look, if you're on tour and you're in a van with 5 people and you're pulling off at a stop.
Do you guys
sign-
play gay chicken?
Y'all play gay
No.
chicken.
I am so sorry I ever brought this into your world, Marcus.
You're not the only one.
I'm
Definitely not.
so sorry.
But we do argue about what fast food restaurant to go to when
Damn
we
it.
pull up on the side of the road every
And,
time.
and
we
for
go
the
somewhere.
record, we've all known a methitarian or two in our time.
Yes.
Throwing that out there.
Yes.
Hashtag methitarian.
They're next to the Smoky White Devils. Hashtag. Afterwards.
They may be worse.
Well, they are fucking
They
totally.
play the long game.
They're totally worse.
They're totally worse. They don't sleep for fucking 2 weeks.
They
and
play
shit.
the long game.
At least crackheads fucking do the lean.
Maybe that was what was happening. That dude was
least they take-
counting his big pile of
At least
crack
they
and
take
then got
naps. At
his.
least they take naps for like fucking 5 minutes and shit.
He got
45.
lean. He got.
We had a van that used to do the lean. Like if you drove behind it, it was.
You rotate the tires?
Is that the one you guys did the music video in the back of? Back in the day.
Maybe. We had 9 vans before we stopped having vans.
I have a DVD
Oh.
of big rock star man.
No. That's not it at all.
It's
We
not
just
fair,
realized we
man.
had to rent them. We just realized we had to rent vans because owning them just sucked. It just wasn't worth it.
Facts.
It took killing 9 of them to be like, you know what's better? Just getting a new one every time.
Every
And be
time.
like, fuck this upholstery.
And then
Fuck
like
this.
getting someone else to pay for a nice bus.
No, buses are always a pain in the ass.
I had a bus.
Buses are not fun. Yeah.
I mean, it was fun, but
Until
Look,
someone goes number 2.
look,
it was fun until it cost me $3,500
Exactly.
to get it.
Oh,
across
that's
the country
right. Yeah,
one
you
time.
had a
Her
bus.
bus was dope as fuck.
I don't. I mean, owning one might be different, or I don't know.
No.
or
No.
just renting one?
I mean,
Yeah.
I was paying like $2,000 a year just to park it.
What's your-
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, you
I
can't
think I may
just
have been
fucking
drinking
park
your
the
beer
Scooby Doo mobile anywhere you
Yeah,
want. You know what I mean?
yeah.
All right, let's pour shots for everybody. Molly, get one?
No,
No?
no.
I literally just did a shot, Marcus. Get with the times.
I'm just saying pour one.
Get with the times, man.
Now you're Jamaican?
Now we're all Jamaican. Man.
I'm not.
I'm definitely Rastafarian, so I'll take it.
Yo, so,
Are you
Mike,
really?
do me a favor. I want you to regale us all. Tell us all about Ice-T.
Oh yeah.
Mike,
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Wait, what?
Darkest Hour toured with Body Count.
What the fuck?
And I have a thing, for those of you who don't know, I have, like,
You have a man crush on Ice-T?
no, it's not a man crush. I have a man mutual respect. Ice-T is the American motherfucking dream come true. The dude came up rapping about pimping and
Killing
selling
cops.
drugs and whatever the fuck.
And
No,
that-
no. Cop Killer was later. You're just missing some shit.
No.
Stop. You're talking out of you. My lane. Allow me. Dude, like, went from gangster rapper, quote unquote, to soundtrack for Colors, and then crossed over
Colors.
Law and Order SVU.
That's where I was
now you
going
get,
with it.
and in between that had Body Count. Was like, oh, hardcore rapper starts a hardcore band. You know what I mean?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Night.
Whatever. Same thing.
No, it's not. See, that's
Very
why.
different.
This is
Same
why you
soundtrack.
can't have nice shit.
Day and night. Are
Oh,
not the
sorry.
same.
Your cloak of caucasity cannot save you.
That was my
in
favorite.
this-
That was my favorite
in this
album when I was younger.
Judgment Afternoon. That was my favorite movie. I
No,
love that
dude,
soundtrack. Judgment Evening.
Go Wikipedia.
I've
Judgment
done a lot
Evening.
of drugs in my life.
You know,
Matinee.
when,
Wikipedia gangster
Justice.
rap.
when Run DMC teamed up with the
it
Pixies
says, listen,
was
if you,
fan fucking.
if you Wikipedia
That's
gangster
fair. All
rap,
that's-
it says Ice-T is the creator.
I mean, okay.
I can
fine.
get with that.
So you know,
about
as
that.
somebody who
Think
grew
about
up,
that.
as somebody who grew up loving rap and hardcore and metal, Body Count when Body Count came out, dude, there goes the neighborhood. I
the
damn
shit,
near
dude.
soiled
Yeah,
myself,
yeah.
like because
That came on
MTV,
MTV.
Headbangers Ball played that uncensored,
really?
and they dropped the fucking N-bomb like a bunch of times, and you're just like, what the? And then that was the only time. Like if you didn't see the world premiere, you never heard it again you never saw it again with that original shit on
MTV's
MTV.
world premieres were fucking
So
awesome.
here we go. We fast forward. Ice-T, Body Count plays what, the second Lollapalooza, and then fast forward now. One of my favorite metal people is on tour with Body
Well,
Count.
okay. I'm not sure. Let's see. Probably was like 3 years ago. We
Yeah.
did the Monster Energy Drink Mayhem Festival.
Thank you, Monster.
And we were also had an album. Our self-titled album was released on Sumerian Records. That is the last album before this last one. And Sumerian had released the Body Count album Manslaughter that has the hit single Talk Shit Get Shot. And so we were doing the tour on the Sumerian Records stage, and we are the oldest band. We were old. Well, I don't know if we were technically older than Body Count, but we were older than any of the other bands that were on Sumerian before that. At that point, although Dillinger had signed, I don't know if they'd been left or not. But
Dillinger escaped.
either way, we were old bands, so we were given the basically later time slot most of the time, which meant we were playing basically right before Body Count, which was
fucking
one of
awesome.
my favorite bands. But some of the other younger bands on the tour weren't that familiar with Body Count, but were familiar with Ice-T.
Right.
So-
the dude transcends.
Fair enough.
So I was stoked. So everybody's
No,
stoked.
I give you that.
Everybody wants to meet Ice-T, but the thing that everybody did wrong in the beginning was everybody tried to meet Ice-T.
Right.
But the thing is,
Lemonade.
if you're real fucking Body Count fan, to me, you try to meet Ernie C.
Yo. Yo.
So Ernie C. A lot of people don't know this, but the Body Count guys are real. They're real classy now. They had really fucked up, serious, legit days, and their crew that rolls around with them are fucking actually really scary.
These just
people.
don't play.
But
Nothing about that,
they have gone. They've had a lot of band members that have died. They've all fought addiction heavily, so they are into and pretty proud of being, in the system, whether it's AA or NA or whatever. Obviously, Darkest Hour, we are, in the still alcoholic drug user phase. So we're not, we don't gel so perfectly with Body Count on that. Like, they're not partiers, but they could respect that we were old men who didn't give a shit, you
Yeah.
know? So we like hit it off and we were able to meet. Like we actually had known their crew because their crew had worked for Suffocation. So that actually helped. And
Grindcore
So
band
what-
out of New Jersey.
so what happened was the funny story, part of the story is, so I'm fucking stoked. I'm just stoked. And, you know, at this point at 40, you know, a little bit of alcohol and weed and a backstage pass will give a motherfucker a little too much courage. So I'm like, hey, we just played. I'm going to fucking stand right here and watch fucking body count. So then the next day, I'm like, oh, we just played. I'm going to stand right here and watch fucking body. So after like standing there and watching body count every day, after a while, like one of the entourage guys comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, I love your style. Like, I love that you're always checking out the show, but man, what is the fuck is up with the way you dress, dude? I can't fucking figure it out. Like, are you heavy metal? Are you punk rock? Like, do you like hip hop? Like, I mean, I know you got long hair and the tattoos, but you ain't wearing no leather jacket. Like, I can't figure you out. He's like, look, I'm going to do you a favor because I think your style is fucked up. I'm going to give you this body count shirt. In LA, when we give motherfuckers colors, you know, it's a big fucking deal. So you don't lose your fucking colors, and you better wear your fucking colors. And I'm like half drunk, like whatever, like okay. So the next day, I think it's like funny. I'm like, oh, okay. So we just finished playing, throw on the body count shirt. You know, I'm up there rocking. Now they all have body count shirts on, right? It's a thing that they're all wearing body count. So all of a sudden they start kicking everybody off the stage that like isn't with body count because there's too many people up here. But I have the fucking shirt on. So they like kick everybody off but me. So I'm like up there and like it's cool and the band's cool. And so then all of a sudden the next day I'm up there. I put on the body count shirt. It's totally cool. I'm like snuck my way in there. So everything's cool. All of a sudden they think it's funny. I start talking to them. I've got this weird extra backstage pass that's like I can go on up there on stage, and even though you're not supposed to be up on stage, well, it's like, oh, it's cool. Mike has the body count shirt, so then flash forward to like into the tour about a couple weeks later. We cross the border into Canada, and a bunch of body counts entourage can't make it across the border. There's a huge thing about the records. So
Canada's
it's hot as
security is
fuck.
no joke.
It's hot as fuck that day.
What year was this again?
I don't know.
It was 3 years ago, you said.
Only 3 years.
It's hot as fuck that day. You know, they don't have any, you know, Ice-T's usually got a bunch of guys that are doing backup vocals and shit. And he's like, fuck. Like, everybody's like, got stopped at the border. Shit. I think literally just went through his head as like,
Who knows my
who
music?
the fuck knows these words? And he thinks, oh, that crazy asshole Mike does from Darkest Hour. I don't even think if he even realized that I actually am not the singer of the band. But if Ice-T, if you're watching this, I love you. I know you
God
don't give
damn,
a,
if you're
you don't
watching this,
fucking
I
give a
love
fuck.
you.
So I know you don't give a fuck. So it's all
Open
good.
invitation.
Yes.
So he calls me out there. He's like, "Yo, on this next song, I need you to come out there and sing Cop Killer with me." Like in between songs. And I look at my boy Tito, who tours with us all the time. I'm like,
Shout out to Tito.
what the fuck? Did
Ice
he
Cube
say?
just asked me to sing
Just
Cop
have it?
Killer.
He's like,
Are you
Yo,
fucking...
you gotta sing Ice to You. And I'm like, wait, what? And the song starts, and I look at John Henry, you know, who's like our actual singer. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm glad it's not me, motherfucker. So I went out there, I did the damn thing. It's on YouTube. I don't have the best voice, but I was excited. And then a couple weeks later, I got asked to do it again in Oklahoma. Because we've been arrested and we wrote a whole song about the cops there, and we fucking hated the cops in Oklahoma. So I was invited on
Fuck
stage
you, Oklahoma.
again.
So how was it singing with Ice T on stage?
It was cool. It was a blast. But you know, I gotta be honest. Like when you're in a band, you do get to meet your idols a lot.
How's
You know,
that?
I've got to meet Eddie Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, all the guys in Slayer, you know, members of Metallica, you know,
How's
every
that-
member of Pantera before some of the dudes died.
How's that work out? How many are like bad memories? How many are great memories?
Well, I mean, it's a crapshoot, but I will tell you that the cool thing about Ice-T is that he was 100% real. Everything was fucking lived up to the reality show I'd built up in my head, and
That's awesome.
they
though.
were good. Like I literally, when body count played, I was transported back to that little kid who's in front of MTV. And if music can do that for you, it's perfect.
Dude,
it's
I
magic.
remember when you guys
And-
were on
and-
the, what was it, metal version of Making the Band? The Ozfest Making.
Oh, yeah, we did the Ozfest.
Did
There was
you?
the game show.
Yeah, the game show where
Yeah.
bands were like people were
Oh,
like
now
trying to be
you-
on Ozfest.
so now you got to go from Ice-T to that?
Dude.
All right, so we were on the Battle for the Bands Ozfest, and this was a disaster that didn't pan out for them. They had a contest where they had all the bands on the second stage take one. Okay, I got ahead of myself. They had a contest. There was like 10 bands. 10 bands each picked one member. One member went on a reality show where they all got eliminated, and the winner, their band, got to play Ozfest.
That sounds horrible.
So these people were like shunned and fucking hazed and all sorts of shit.
This was during the height of like the Osbournes being really popular.
So they basically got these people to each one of them join each band for one song. And luckily, the guy who we got, we picked a really simple song, one of our easiest songs. And he was so good that after he played with us, we were like, man, maybe our other guys suck. But a lot of the other people had the problem where they kept turning down the contestants out of the PA and whatever, because, this is Ozfest. This is an important show. Nobody wants to have it fucked up by some contest. And so MTV kept having these problems where the footage wasn't working because they didn't have any audio. And so it was like,
Fuck you,
they
MTV.
also had,
Thanks for ruining music. Sorry.
well, I mean, did they?
They ruined the music video.
No, they didn't do shit. How did they ruin a music video?
Reality world, real world.
No. Real
They
World.
Once we got past
Pregnant
like
at
season, once we
16.
got past like season 4 of Real World,
Real
is when the shit
World
really-
was a reaction to the fact that we as consumers weren't watching enough
Or the
videos.
same people who voted in fucking Trump.
I would disagree.
I
the
don't.
fact that they were only spoon feeding, they had a radio format where like they were only playing in a week. They were playing the same 100.
I agree
videos.
that happened,
Yes.
but we weren't watching it enough.
there was so much
Because as
we
soon
had
as
to
they put
have-
on that reality show shit, everybody
I
started
don't-
You
watching.
know what? They should have gone more down the vein of 120 minutes.
Yeah, well, they did.
We didn't know how dope Matt Pinfield was
Matt
until he was
Matt
gone.
Pinfield was awesome.
We
Yeah, I
had
would
no
agree- I
idea
agree
how
with that.
dope Matt
I
Pinfield
agree
was
with
until
that.
we didn't
I
have
like
Matt
Jesse.
Pinfield on. And fuck you.
No, look at
I
the
love you,
fuck-
Mike Schleibon, but fuck you. I can't
Jesse.
believe.
Jesse was a
Kurt
dark
Loader
man.
and Jesse is my
Oh,
VJ.
whoa! Don't you dare say their
Hey,
names in the
I
same
just
breath.
designed-
You fucking
I
savage.
just designed the new Crushing Boo T-shirt. It
Shame.
says,
Shame.
Jesse is my VJ.
Shame.
Jesse is my
Shame.
VJ.
Shame.
I'll print it.
Shame.
Do it. I'll wear it.
Fucking Boo.
I'll
print
buy
it.
I'll rock the shit out of this.
If Boo will sell one, he'll print it.
Shame. Yo,
Yeah.
I think we're.
I like Ed Lover.
I mean,
hour and 52
what? Are you,
in.
what are you? Some kind of fucking communist? Of course you love fucking Ed Lover. What's
Yeah.
wrong
All right,
with you?
so we're an
but-
hour 52 in. You got anything else you want to say? Because I can talk to you. I feel like we need to bring you back on with.
No, that's it. That's all. It's on my Cliff Notes. Buy the album.
That's all your cliff notes.
Buy. I wrote it real big. Just
Come
over
to
here.
the show.
Buy the
Come to-
album.
where-
Come to the
where
show.
you
Come
playing
to
at?
the shows.
We already did where I was playing. You want
Do it
me to
again,
where
bitch,
I'm playing
'cause
at
we
again?
do-
Again?
We're wrapping up.
All right. One more time. We're
It's
doing
your
an East-
sponsorship, motherfucker.
Is anybody here you think listening in Europe?
No.
All right,
Possibly.
fine.
Possibly.
So I'm only going to give you the U.S. dates. So November 13th at the U Street Music Hall in Washington, D.C. November 14th at the Baltimore Sound Stage. November 15th at the Philadelphia Voltage Lounge. November 16th at the Kingsland in Brooklyn, New York. And November 18th at the Power of the Riff Festival in Los Angeles, California.
Wait, and then you guys are going to Europe.
We are in March of next year, and we have the limited edition whiskey chocolate ice cream that is available
Yes.
I want that
at Mount
ice cream so
Desert Island Ice Cream in Mount Pleasant, Washington, D.C.
Where in Europe are you guys playing?
All over the mainland continent, including England. So mostly Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, England. Normal
going to
stuff.
the Green Isle?
Budapest. We're going to go to Hungary. We're going to go to Czech Republic. I mean, it's kind of short drives. The tour's only 12 days.
I don't have shit going on in January or February. So if you
January
need
is slow.
some hands. Well, this is a conversation off the air.
Are we taking a trip to fucking?
You need some
No,
hands.
you're not doing anything. You're gonna sit
Buses
right
only
here.
have so many bunks, bro.
Man, I'm a self-made
Rent a
man.
car.
I will.
What?
He will snuggle you so hard.
All Oh man, we
Big
can't. If we bring
hash-
Boo on tour, he's
hashtag
gonna
big-
be the biggest rock star. around all
Hashtag
of
Big
us.
Spoon.
Yeah.
All right, let's make our way out of this.
Spoon.
Let's make our way out of this situation there, Boo Boo.
Crushing Spoon. Hi.
Crushing spoon. Just for your meth heads, we have the crushing
That
spoon.
sounds a little heroin-y.
It's only for this weekend, I promise.
Oh.
No. Hey, what's up, y'all? Crushing Boo. Damon Dixon. You can find me on the Instagram, Facebook, the Twitters at Crushing Boo.
No final words.
Final words. No, seriously. Yo, thanks to Mike for coming out, man. I really was excited to have you on days before your show at the U Street Music Hall.
Hey, meet us there. We're coming.
I look
We're
forward
coming the show. We're going.
to seeing you that night.
It's just U Street Music Hall. You
Not
old
the.
motherfuckers. You
What'd I
both-
say? What'd I say?
The
To be
Well,
yeah.
The Hall
I just
of
have my-
Music.
Make sure you look up it.
Hold on a
you
second,
look
I
it up.
get-
The Hall of
A lot of
Music.
people say U-Haul DC too.
So I'm confused by that. It's not U-Haul anymore?
The Hall of Music upon U Street, Washington,
I mean,
District
U-Haul
of
is
Columbia.
confusing because you're
U-Haul
like, is it a
like
U-Haul?
yeah.
I'm old as fuck.
I know,
yo.
but U-Haul's confusing.
Well, no,
'cause
they
you're
just
like,
call it U-Haul because people don't want to speak to like in complete sentences.
I don't.
Yeah.
People get a little belligerent.
It's like Ab Fav.
Village.
Nomad.
It's totes.
Whatever.
Totes Magoo.
Whatevs.
Admo.
I will punch you in the
I
head.
do.
No, ma.
I fucking.
No ma.
I will dive across the table with
Kohai.
you right now.
Anyone who calls a co, I want to.
Is that a
punch
new
in the
thing
throat.
too? Are you
Yes.
fucking kidding? Oh my god.
No,
Kohai.
ma.
Let's wrap this up on a positive note.
I love.
We love everyone.
Val?
Yes. Hi.
Valerie Torres on Facebook.
I am on Facebook as Valerie Torres.
As the Valerie Torres.
V to the L to the.
And again,
Spelled it
BMTDC
I
on
know.
Twitter
I know.
and Insta.
Notice how I pulled the cord on that real quick.
Final thoughts are Trump sucks.
Fair enough. Let's do it. Next, Mike, you got anything left?
Thank you for having me on in the lovely Washington Post building.
Thank you for coming on, man. You were
And,
fucking awesome.
Yes, amazing. Thank you.
Please
for
come
coming.
on again.
Oh hell yeah!
Once the tour's done, tell us your stories about the tour. We can fucking have a good time.
Tell you all about it.
I
you
mean,
know,
we'll see. We'll
I'm
see
going
you
to
on
look-
Tuesday.
If I want to find your ice cream, if I go to this place tomorrow,
I'm
will I
going
find your ice
tomorrow.
cream?
I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
I have the day off.
You got it.
My
Say
children
we're-
have the day
I'm
off.
not-
chill.
we're all
And
up.
there's a T-shirt bundle you can buy
Can I
for
feed
20
this
bucks.
ice
You
cream
can
to
buy
my
a
children?
t-shirt.
Sorry, what?
It's got whiskey in it, you dumb fuck.
Shut your
It's
whore.
cooked,
I mean,
isn't
you
it?
could give it
I
to
think
your
it's
kids.
fine.
What if I give it to them
It's
right before
cooked out.
bedtime?
I fed it to my kid.
What
I
if-
fed it to
what
my
if
kid.
they- what
But
if-
I'm not sure, honestly. To
You
be
fed it
honest
to
with you.
he fed it to his kid.
I'm not sure.
Interrupting Boo
Cody
Dixon.
didn't really like it that much because
Interrupting
it was the whiskey aftertaste was just like not that palatable.
For
So there's
babies,
probably
yeah.
another flavor your kid might want to eat. But
I've
dude,
never
this is
even heard of that.
R-rated.
Like my kid wouldn't
new.
eat it. He didn't like it at all.
So I love ice
Feed it to
cream.
your
I'm
kids.
super excited.
And they have drip coffee.
What?
But I'm gonna
Feed
just
that
leave
to
you
the
Field trip.
with the
You know.
I'm not sure what the darkest hour parting words would be. I think they'd either be charge it to the game,
Charge it to the
which
game.
is the current motto, or it would be fired up,
Fired up.
which was pretty much what we say all the time.
Homage to the crow.
Yeah, and either way, I think I'm just gonna go thank you. You know,
Do y'all
fuck
have
it.
a
good to have you.
webpage?
Oh yeah, officialdarkesthour.com. Although web pages, it's so 90s.
Go to his wiki. Go to Mike's Wikipedia and change the fucking picture. Somebody
Yes,
for the love of God,
some loyal
change
fan
it.
out there put up a
you just
decent
asked
picture
for
of this
it,
man.
Dude. You just asked.
Oh,
Put up
wow.
a decent picture.
Put a picture of Bert and Ernie up there. I don't give a fuck.
Preferably
Just
not
change the
one of
shit.
him and John Henry holding hands.
I'm a family man.
All right,
I'm sure it
guys.
exists.
All right, guys. Here we are. I'm Marcus Bradley Donovan. Thank you for coming on the DCS Fuck Show. Mike, thank you very much, man. You're fucking
Cheers,
awesome.
man.
To all my misses and everybody from Water Love Mess, we love you. Get the fuck out of here and come join us on Tuesday at U Street. Blah.
7
Blah,
p.m.
Booga!
Love you guys.